Okay.
Hello.
Let's see if this is working. Boop. Ah,
Background is so blurry.
Ah,
He's
it's
got
a
a filter to blur
it's a
to blur the
magic
background, doesn't he?
background.
mhm.
Hmm.
Pretty sure I do.
It's made of
Ah,
Yeah, I
stars.
say I'm pretty sure you do. Just the way it interacts
Look,
with the way your head moves.
new vest with lapels.
nice.
Lovely
Yeah.
vest. Very nice.
Or new waistcoat if you prefer.
Waistcoat. Yes.
If you want a more appropriate term.
Yeah, for the times, I'm wearing a
Ah,
nice waistcoat and a jacket.
yep. Hmm.
Socks.
There we go. And I have a question, Kevin. Could
Yep.
I have asked Martel Thomas one more thing before I left his office? Because we kind of ended
Yeah.
at the end of the conversation.
Okay. I hope you have the names of all the folks involved because my notes just updated and I just lost like an entire page.
Oh no.
Oh, I
I
have
sent
an
you.
I have a
Let me see if the I.
list.
Go ahead, Graham. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry for interrupting you. You continue, Andy.
Um, I sent you a PDF. Let me see if this is the right one. Oh crap! I downloaded it. I didn't want to do that. Just open it.
Well,
See if this is everything.
Um,
This is not the latest one. I will send you a new PDF. If you give me
okay.
just a minute to hop
Yeah,
in and
because
make
Was it
one.
the
this
was
computer
it the
appears to
list
have
of people
restarted
who
with
are
me.
attending the wake or the reading of the will? Sorry.
And some others as well.
Yeah, I
The
keep a
tavern
list.
Yeah.
keeper.
Anybody we meet, I write down and make a list of it. I do that as a GM and I do
I've,
that as a player.
I've got
Big
a Doctor uh,
save.
Tremont, Vincent Phillip, Declan O'Brien, Marcus
Oh,
Coldwell.
Declan's holding out on us. Mm, where the hell is it? People met. Here we go.
Ah, mm,
Okay,
I'll be
yeah,
right back.
Kevin. Boom. Let me find the file. And okay, I'm
yeah, I'd
sending
appreciate
you
that.
a PDF.
Okay, how are you sending it?
It's going to be coming through Discord.
Okay,
So it should be the latest thing on the Discord. And the date at the top of it is going to be. This is the wrong date. It's like May something. It'll have a
okay. So
date at the
where
top.
did you send it?
I
Via
sent it
personal note.
directly to you and to Kevin Kreiner.
Okay, I'm going to
Uh,
switch over to that.
yeah.
So personal message.
Yep.
There it is.
Should be right at the bottom.
I can see it. Okay,
Hooray!
let's just see if I can open it now.
I hope so. It's a PDF. I could send you a Word 2007 document too. That's the other choice that I have.
Yeah. Well, it should. I should be able to open it.
I can open it with Adobe Reader.
Yeah, I mean that's the point. Is I should be able to open it with that. Okay, there it is.
Boom. And it should be 3 pages long, and the last page only has a few entries, half dozen, maybe eight. When last we left, because I read the journal today,
Mhm.
Edgeworth, Baker, and Illingsworth were accompanying Mr. Bartholomew back to his room. I had given Mr. Illingsworth instructions to please try to get the key so that we can try to remove the rest of the books. There's
Yep.
something in Dr. Wibble's office. A thing is in there. Um,
Yep.
and it freaked out me and I think Edgeworth. Edgeworth, did you get freaked out by the thing in Dr. Wibble's office? Was it you that lost some sanity or was it Baker? I
I
thought it
don't
was
think I
you.
noticed it.
Because
Was it
Declan got
Baker?
you the key, which is how you got in, and then that happened.
Declan. No.
And and Andy, I didn't get a chance to respond to you via text, but I did gain a new phobia from failing last time. I've got a fear of birds.
Wow.
Yay! We're none of us gonna go outside soon.
is
Um,
that ornithopphobia or whatever?
that's fear of ornithopters. Um, Bartholomew got us in because he went with us into the office, and then two of us freaked out. I noticed, I freaked out, but I can't
Oh,
remember
right,
who the
right.
two exactly were. Um,
Mr. Bartholomew, the solicitor, because
correct,
he had
and
he had the key. He has a list of what's in the office.
exactly. We're not stealing. We're just trying to get all that shit out of there because there's some. Well,
Yeah,
Illingsworth doesn't
and
know
you.
anything about that. He doesn't know there's a thing in
Mm,
there because He didn't freak out like the rest of us did.
I didn't see
Yep.
nothing.
Um, I wanted to quick ask Dr. Martell Thomas. I want to relate to him that if we can get into Dr. Wibble's apartment, we might be able to find out some of the information that he's looking for.
That's right. That's where you left off.
Right. I haven't said that to him yet, so I want to say that to him and see what his response is before I leave, because our conversation was pretty much done. Um,
Okay.
he just told me all this, that he's the one that stole the body. He dissected it. Wibble didn't die for any reason. He's just dead.
Yeah.
And he wants to know what Wibble's up to, but he can't figure it out. He talked to O'Brien. He talked to me about whatever was going on, and none of us can put it together. I was pretty forthcoming with him,
Yeah.
and
And
I think that's it.
he can add one more thing that maybe you didn't know,
I'd love
which
that.
is he suspects that the people on the list, that is to say, Rourke Howard, William Tremont,
Right.
Vincent Phillips, Declan O'Brien,
Me.
Marcus Coldwell,
Oh yeah, Coldwell.
that the five of them and you, his suspicion is that what you share is that you all worked as an assistant for Dr. Wibble at some point.
He did tell me that last session.
Okay.
That everybody.
Like,
That's how we were connected. That's why we're on the list.
and O'Brien told him about the weird thing that happened.
Hmm.
You told him about it too,
Hmm.
and he won't come out and say it, but it's clear that if he gets a chance, he's going to ask the others whether the four of them also experienced something like that while working for Wibble.
They did. I bet they did. I'm not
It's
going to tell him
entirely
that, but
possible.
that's my belief right now. So, is there any way he can get us into Wibble's apartment? Is my last question for him before I leave, and then you can go deal with um, the others. I know what I'm.
He's
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
he likes the idea that we should find out. So what he can do is he's going to talk to some people and see if he can't get the constable who they originally asked to lock the room down
Hmm.
to give you permission to enter.
Awesome. Okay, that'd be fine. And I will tell him that I will share with him anything I find out.
That's what he expects. He doesn't say it, but it's clear this is a quid pro quo.
Has he been in Dr. Wibble's office at all lately?
He has not.
Okay. I'm going to intimate that he might not want to go in there. Something odd in there. But I'm not going to go into the
No.
details.
Okay. Well, he has no intention of invading Dr. Wibble's office,
That's fine.
but seeing as you appear A, committed to understanding this, which is something he wants to do, and B, more, he won't say it as well, but essentially, you've got more freedom of action here than he does because of his position.
That's
He
true.
can't be seen poking around. You
Mhm.
can.
Ooh. Okay.
So if he can help you gain access to things you need, then he's okay with that.
Okay.
So he'll see
And he seems
quietly what he can do to get you to gain access to the apartment.
pretty legit. He
Oh,
doesn't he doesn't have some ulterior motive, I don't think.
he's clearly interested in what Wibble was doing,
Hmm.
although his motive for why he wants to know that is kind of opaque. So you can trust the fact that he's interested in learning what happened.
Okay.
What you can't trust right now is why he wants to learn
Right.
that.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm not going to ask him anything like that. I went
So
ahead.
he's helping you. He's willing to help you learn what happened.
Right.
So you can trust him that far. How much further?
Exactly. Well, it was early afternoon when all this happened.
Yep. And I
I would
believe some of
go ahead.
I
Go ahead. You
believe some of the
jump to
others
that.
were going to visit the bookstore.
They were going back with Bartholomew to help him translate some of that shit.
Oh, that too, because I believe you had also learned what was it from? Where is she?
Oh, the lady who, the next door
Uh,
neighbor.
yeah, Mrs. Stevenson.
Yeah, Constantine Pearsall, the book dealer.
Yeah, I'd learned. Yeah, had learned. You'd learned that from the widow Stevenson
Hmm.
that her husband, the late Dr. Hadley Stevenson, and Dr. Wibble had both ordered books. So does
Right.
widow Stevenson from a dealer called Constantine Pearsall, who maintains a shop in Cambridge. It has no further name. It's simply Pearsall's Bookshop.
while they're doing it's Saturday. While they're doing whatever they're going to do next, I'm going to head for whatever kind of official government offices are here to try to track down Wibble's marriage license and find out when he got married and divorced if they have that information.
Okay.
So that's what I'll be doing.
So what are the rest of you doing with your afternoon?
Let's see at my noteses.
You were supposed to
So I
help
believe.
Sorry.
Wait a second.
You're supposed to help
Wait,
Bartholomew translate the hieroglyphics. Is
yes,
what
I
you
believe.
were going to do.
I'm just getting myself reacquainted with sanity rules, but yes, the what was that? Oh no. Yes. Because we have the older version of the text.
Yeah, you've got a copy of you've got Wibble's personal copy of the Oedipus Aegypticus.
Exactly. So we want to go through that and examine the both the letter that we got as well as do we have a now we remind me we pinched the do we pinch uh the uh lo- tiny uh the tiny what was it called, like the little statuette from the con man?
Baker's got it. The
I
little
believe you
black
did.
one.
That?
Yes,
Yes, Baker has it.
your
I'd be
shopkeeper.
interested in look yeah there's you shot me.
Yes.
I'd be interested in looking at that with Dr. Whipple's translation as well, or Dr. Whipple's edition, personal copy as well, to
Okay.
see if there's anything else to be gleaned from that.
Okay. That can be all of that can be done. How are you going? When and or says let me rephrase it. Where are you going to do that?
That's a good question. Doing it out in the open seems a touch risky.
Yep.
We have private rooms, yes, in the at the university.
You've taken rooms at Cambridge Hall. Cambridge Hall?
Yeah,
No, wait.
No, it was a T word.
Trinity Hall.
Yeah.
You've
Trinity
taken
Hall.
rooms at
That's
you've got rooms at Trinity Hall.
mhm.
So
We have access to the tome at the moment. Yes, because we took it from Wibble's office.
yes.
Yes.
Took
Right.
3 books.
So I can stay at Trinity Hall for a bit, again, work on that translation, see if there's anything else we can glean. Uh,
Okay, so you can take that. Now the thing about Trinity Hall is it's intended, of course, for scholars. So it's got places to sit and work. So it's actually very convenient for that purpose.
that, that's not untrue. As long as I'm allowed, I would avail myself of the facilities and find a quiet corner and begin my work.
Okay. So that's you then. What about the rest of you?
Could I try to get the key to from Bartholomew to Whipple's office at this point in time? So maybe I could get some of the stuff that we need while everyone's working on stuff. I mean, my guy's not good at doing any
Oh,
translations, but
yeah, he's not willing to part with the key. That's why he went with you. In other words, he was willing to let you in, but he's
right.
not allowed to let the key out of his own custody.
Okay. Can I try to persuade him a little bit, like with a persuade roll, or
It's going to take a hard success after what happened last time.
okay? I'm
Because
gonna
remember,
drop
he experienced whatever was in there, so
right.
he's
And I haven't, so
yeah
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try, but I'm not gonna push the issue.
okay.
So, and I didn't get a hard success. I got a regular success, but
With a regular success, it becomes clear to you that this is something that under other circumstances he would do, but he's afraid to go back there. He doesn't say why, of course. But
well, I mean,
clear that
all the more
he's afraid.
If he said that, if he tells me he's afraid to go back there, all the more reason, like, to let me go and get there. I don't care.
He won't tell you that. That's just the vibe you get. He won't admit to being a coward.
I gotcha.
Nobody would ever admit to that.
All right.
But
Yeah.
it's clear from the way he's making excuses that he's afraid to go there.
Okay.
We haven't told Illingsworth what we experienced in that room yet. Nobody's had
That,
time.
that, that's
No,
correct.
That's fine.
Except that Bartholomew experienced it and does not want to experience it again if he can help that. He would be very happy for that never to happen again in his lifetime. So, what he's doing basically is offering you excuses.
Yeah, that's
They're thin.
Let's say, should I even do a psychology? I don't think.
Well, you don't need psychology. That's the point. Is with the success and the persuade will, you realize he's making excuses because he is afraid.
Okay.
And he will not say, I'm afraid, because that would damage his reputation.
Right.
And if you push it, you're going to force him into a confrontation.
Right. And I say
could end very badly for both of you.
Right. And I'm not gonna push the issue.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So who's left?
I believe that's me.
Okay, and what are you up to?
Well, I was curious, am I helping you, Mr. Edgeworth, with
That's
your
up to you.
translation?
Yeah, I believe we talked about that, potentially you helping me with translation.
Somebody is supposed to be helping Bartholomew with his translations. That's the
Mhm.
whole reason we grabbed those books, guys. Because he can't translate any of this shit easily. And we said, well, we'll help you. And that's the whole reason we went over to the office, and then we grabbed the books and we took off. Because we were going to help him try to
so I'm
figure
not
out.
doing the translation. We're helping.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry.
Because there's a bunch of stuff written in hieroglyphics that Bartholomew apparently has that he doesn't know what it means.
Yeah.
And then there's another language.
Right.
There's a language Illingsworth saw. He showed him these two pieces of paper. And one is these scribbly things that he didn't recognize at all as language. And so we said, hey, we can help. These guys are experts. They'll help you translate. But we're probably going to need some of, Whipple's books.
Yeah, which is why he was willing to get the key and go over there with you.
So
I can hang out with Bart.
Okay, so three of you then are working together on translation.
This is correct. Oh, yes. Thank you, Andy. I'm sorry.
So for you guys, with the resources you've got, you're going to want to make yourselves, actually, since you're making use of resources, this is going to be library use again. Because you're really looking things up more than relying on your own knowledge now. Granted, it's a very small library, just a few books you stole, plus what you brought with you.
Oh!
We did not steal those books.
Yeah, it's technically, yes, that's true. They're technically on loan.
For once, we're not breaking the law.
This is true.
These are from Whipple's library, yes?
They're from Whipple's office.
When it's taking from the dead, it's not stealing, it's loot.
Or archaeology, if it's far enough back.
Murder hobo.
Archaeology.
Yeah. There's a fine line, after all, between grave robbing and archaeology.
That is a normal success on my part.
Okay.
How much of Well, yeah, I don't want to. Yeah,
roughly 100 years, by the way.
That's an extreme.
No, I'll say that's not kind of where I was going, but yeah, like I said, I didn't want to digress.
The rough answer is about 100 years. When someone's been dead 100 years, it's now archaeology, not grave robbing. Roughly. Josh, how about you?
Extreme
Any
success.
Luck? Extreme success?
I got
What's
a
that?
3.
Nice. That makes up for my fail.
Okay.
My guy's not a library guy.
With an extreme success, you're going to knock this out surprisingly quickly. Well, because what you've got is you've got Major Thornhill's dictionary, his Garden of Thoth, which is you get both versions. You've got his Garden of Thoth and you've got his dictionary or word list. You've also got, of course, Whibble's own edition of the Oedipus Aegypticus. And you've got the text that he sent Bartholomew. And what you'll get out of it is a rough translation of the Bartholomew text that says, call them, let the knowing ones come and see. Glory to the knowing ones. That's as tight as you can make it. because the problem here is it's misused the way and this is where the Oedipus is so important. He misuses the glyph for knowledge, implying that he's using it as a gerund, which leaves the translation of those who know or the knowing ones. In other words, knowing is a noun.
Mm.
It's bad hieroglyphic, which is to say this text was probably written by Whibble himself. This is not a translation of ancient text. This is the man himself writing in hieroglyphic, using primarily the Oedipus, which is really not a very good guide to the hieroglyphs. But the overall gist of the text is summon or call forth or call or collect the knowing ones, glory to them, or gift to them. So the knowing ones are to be summoned and they are to receive some kind of gift. And here's the kicker, the part that makes it make sense. Because at the bottom of it, he repeats the glyphs he used for knowing ones, and then includes 6 glyphs, which those of you who've been working with these for a while will realize are essentially cartouche. That is to say, glyphs used to indicate a proper name.
Mm.
There are 6 names here. And what he's done is he's essentially spelled out, or at least initialed. So, for instance, the one of the cartouches is made up of fra and fa, or pa, or if you prefer the English, FP.
It's us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The glyphs, the cartouches there, are his renderings of your names as royal cartouches.
Mm-hmm.
All of our names?
No.
Or
The
The
6.
6 people,
Yeah.
6 people who are to receive
Okay.
The
something.
inheritors.
okay, okay.
So that's apparently who the knowing ones are,
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
who are to receive some kind of glory or gift.
The knowing ones are to receive the glory or gift.
Yeah, that's your best translation.
I
of
don't. So who wants to take my place? Illingsworth. Come on.
it. Yeah, so he's got something to give you. In a very real sense, the hieroglyphs are simply describing the act of giving a will. He has a gift
Mm-hmm.
to give to these 6 people.
If I remember rightly, in the letter, the original letter, there was also in those hieroglyphs an additional person or thing being invited to the reading of the will.
Naya Hotep or Narlat Hotep. One of those.
Mm-hmm.
It's conflicting on what it actually spells.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Nylar Hotep is as good a description as you can get.
And you knew who that was, Connor. I believe you made
Yeah.
that check.
I did.
And
Yeah. The so-called Black Pharaoh,
That's
the herald
awesome.
of chaos, frequently mistaken for the devil.
Might need that.
Yeah,
That,
so
if I
apparently
remember,
there are 7 invited, of which 6 are the gift receivers and 1 is the Black Pharaoh.
mm-hmm.
Whose initials? Okay, there were 6 of us that
Yep.
the lawyers were looking for.
Yep. There
There's
is no
supposed-
there's no
There's only
7th set
6.
of initials.
Okay.
But the original text, remember, said that Nylar Hotep was invited.
Yay.
So if that's true, there are 7 people invited to hear and receive, one of whom is an eldritch thing from beyond space and time, and the other 6 are you. Oh, good.
That we know of.
Yeah, the other 6 are Dr. Whibble's former students. And by the way, one of the things Bartholomew will point out when you've solidified this translation is it's odd that Whibble has living relatives, and they are not mentioned in his will at all.
His nephew got an invite though.
Yeah, but he's not mentioned among the cartouche here.
Okay, fair enough.
So he's not among the knowing ones. And what Bartholomew will tell you is this appears to be a legal division. where the so-called knowing ones are to receive a particular gift, which is not specified, whereas other items like property are. So he's designated things like his physical property, but he's also left this sort of gift, whatever that is, which is indicated in the hieroglyphic.
Yeah.
And is only apparently for those 6 people. So you're apparently to receive property and also something else, whereas his relatives are to receive just property.
I
In other
think
words,
it's safe to say
the-
the knowing part is knowing about the elder gods and the other realms.
or maybe something as simple as the fact that the knowing ones are those who participated in his experiments.
Yeah.
If we know that's true of O'Brien and Payne, and we assume it's true of the other 4 students at the time, by knowing ones, he simply means everyone who served as one of his medical assistants.
As we know, we do know that like he had a pattern where he would bring in new
Yeah.
students effectively to help him, and then like usher them out before they could learn too much.
Yeah.
This
Or encourage
sounds
them to
like
graduate and move on, which is the same thing. So maybe these are the only 6 he knew where to find, or are still alive, or... I mean, between the 6 of you, you represent about 13 to 15 years.
6 of them that didn't go crazy.
6 of them who actually saw something weird.
Or some others just never saw anything.
Nothing ever really
and
happened.
Were left out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, also possible.
A weird question, but is there any significance to the number 6 that my mind might catch on to based on like...
There's a great deal, but there's so many things you can attach to it, and there's too much to work with here. After all, 3 is the Trinity, 2 the first even number in prime, 3 by 2 is 6, 6 plus Nyarlathotep makes 7, which is the number of days, which is a sacred number. I mean, you could go down that rabbit hole all day. And it's right now it won't do you any good because there's just too much data.
And Edgeworth does.
Yeah.
We find him 6 hours later, mumbling to himself.
Oh, yeah.
6, 7, 2.
Even in the age before Wikipedia, you could go down a rabbit hole pretty goddamn fast if you tried. And there's too much there to work with. What numerology system are you working with? Babylonian,
we need something to narrow this down.
Yeah. So that's you guys. And that with an extreme success, you'll actually be finished with that by supper time. In other words, you'll accomplish the entire task in just a few hours.
Woo!
Which, as for the other 2 of you...
And I didn't get in the way.
You did not, but you weren't able to get Bartholomew to cooperate, so what are you doing with the rest of the afternoon?
Oh, yeah.
No, I was helping with the library use. Like, I made that roll, but I failed it, so...
Okay, so you rejoined them.
Right.
Try to help out. Okay, no problem. And what is Dr. Payne doing with the rest of the afternoon, then?
There's got to be a government building. I'm trying to find records on his marriage, birth certificates, whatever information they might have. Especially marriage. I really want to try to focus on his marriage and his wife and his divorce, if there is a divorce.
Okay. Well, formal records are hard to find, as a lot of towns and cities do not keep them.
Yeah.
The thing to do, your best bet here, churches are where a lot of birth and marriage records are kept.
That's true.
So actually, you know what? Let's start with library use as well.
Okay.
It's a research problem.
Yeah, it is.
So the first question becomes, where do I find what I might need?
Boom. Okay. Here we go. No, 93 out of 55. Not a clue where to go. I was hoping for a government building. I go to the government building. They're like, no. Those things aren't here. I'm like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, Cambridge City Hall has very little of what you would need there.
Yeah.
They will direct you. They will direct you to various churches if you're looking for birth or marriage or death records. And all you've learned by the end of by supper time is that you have yet to discover what church, if any, Dr. Wibble was a member of.
Okay. Did I knock some of the churches off the list?
You can, but it's also possible that if he married before he came to Oxford.
Yeah.
That the marriage took place at a church that isn't here?
His nephew would know, maybe.
Maybe.
Um.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's a kind of a wasted afternoon. That's okay.
Yeah. So
So that's still something we got.
all you've successfully done is convince yourself that some these churches do not know this man. He has never been a member of these churches.
In these churches, could I also drop Matilda Planchet's name and see if the Planchets are
Uh,
at least members of the churches I eliminate from Wibble's
a,
list?
a credit rating roll might help there.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
31 out of 80. That's a
That's
hard success.
that's actually going to help a bit. So, you're on your third church,
Okay.
and that would be St. Catherine's, located as part of St. Catherine's College, and that's where you'll meet an older man. This is a fellow who calls himself Gregory.
Hmm.
Uh, if he has a first name, we haven't heard it.
Mr. Gregory.
Yeah,
That's fine.
he's apparently the church deacon and one of the keepers of records, and he knows the Planchet family.
Ah,
He's heard of them.
okay.
He knows that they were not native to Cambridge. He does know that their ancestral holding was in the Midlands.
Midlands.
Uh,
Okay. Any more specific than that?
he can look that up,
Oh, that'd be great.
so it'll take a little time. And what he'll come back with is that their ancestral holding is what's known as Baltusrol Castle,
Can you spell
which is
that for
located
me? Baltusrol?
Baltusrol. So I think
Baltusrol.
Baltursol, something like that.
Is it a real
Baltusrol.
place?
No, I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
The
That's
name has
cool.
been used, but I'm
Cool. If it's made
real
up,
name for a
yeah.
fictional place.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Which is located near Sheffield. So it's about a good 50, 60 miles north of here.
Couple days ride. Okay, at least.
Yeah,
Just to get
and
there.
the Planchet family actually have land and holdings there. And from what he knows, Baltusrol House is their current residence, although somewhere in the neighborhood, apparently, Planchet Keep. Parts of it still stand. Planchet Keep is a ruin.
But that's near Sheffield too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Planchet Keep was the family's original castle, which they apparently built shortly after the Norman conquest.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's how far back the Planchet family
Yeah.
goes.
Um,
Like, the original Planchet was a knight in William the Conqueror's army.
did did she attend here when she was living here? Does he know? It would have been some
Uh,
years ago.
he remembers seeing her at St. Catherine's Church, which is why he knows the name. He remembers that she always came to the church alone. Her husband never came with her.
He doesn't know any. He doesn't know anything about Doctor Wibble, her husband, does
Other
he?
than that, they were married,
Just
and
they were
that
married.
Dr. Wibble had a reputation at the time, for being a strange and, still in a low voice, admit dangerous person.
Oh, oh dear. What did?
Supposedly, he doesn't want to speak ill of the dead,
Of
but he
course.
is convinced that he has heard that Dr. Wibble was known to operate with the cooperation of resurrection men.
Ah, yes, because he worked at the college. He was a medical professor, from my understanding.
Yes. And that he
Yes.
believed that Wibble, part of the reason that Wibble did not attend any church was he understood what he was doing was sinful and had no desire to be confronted about that
What?
by a pastor.
Oh, did she
That's what
die?
Deacon Gregory thinks, anyway.
Oh, yes. That makes sense. Did she die, or was she? Were
Uh,
they? Did they
to his to his
divorce?
knowledge, she went home, or yeah, that's what he thinks. He's like,
She went
maybe
home.
not, but no. She probably went back to Baltusrol House.
I see.
And as far as he knows, they were never their marriage was never legally terminated,
Oh,
but it may as well have been.
of course, if they're separated for years and years and years.
Yeah,
I
in
thank
other
him.
words, they probably didn't see each other or speak to each other in 30 years.
I thank him very kindly.
Yeah, they
Um,
were legally married apparently that entire time,
right, but not here, or at least not that he can
but
find.
she left
Okay,
and
that's
went.
pretty good.
He thinks back to her ancestral lands.
Years
He
ago,
stayed there to work,
30 years ago.
and as far as he knows, the two of them never communicated again.
Right.
He's also unaware that Sanjit ever filed for divorce, so he's unaware if they divorced, if they ever dissolved their marriage legally.
So he's an older gentleman. He's been here for a while.
Yeah, Mr.
Okay,
Gregory's been here for a long time.
great. Um,
He's proud to tell you he served as the deacon at St. Catherine's for 28 years.
oh, congratulations. That's wonderful. Um, I will slip him a little money if that's appropriate.
What would be more
As a
appropriate
thank
would
you.
be to put it in the donation
Oh, I
box.
will. I'll put a pound in the donation box on my way out. Um,
They've got a box there to collect for the poor.
yeah. Oh no, the poor. Are there a lot of poor? Perhaps I can help them. All right. What time of day is it by
There's
now?
poor people everywhere.
What time of day is it? Well, some places have more than others. What time of day is it
Yeah.
here
Well,
now?
London is far worse in terms of
Oh
the
yeah.
number of people who are starving and suffering. But there are poor people at Cambridge.
It's not dark yet, right? What time of day is it? By the
By
time
the
I've done
time
all
you're
this
done with
shit.
this, by the time you guys have all done everything here, it's about 6 p.m.
Oh, awesome. I'm heading
So you're
back for
past tea
supper.
time and heading towards supper time.
Yeah.
You may have missed tea time,
Mm,
but that's okay. Yeah, supper. So you can get together again, say, if you want to take your meal at Trinity Hall.
That's where I'm gonna go to see if I can find them, basically.
Yeah, because
If they're there.
that's where they were working.
Right.
You guys had basically just set aside a
Well, no,
workroom at Trinity Hall.
they were working with at Bartholomew's room, weren't
Oh,
they?
I thought you guys were working no, I thought you were working in Trinity Hall because
Oh,
it's got
either
study
way.
space.
Okay, yeah. If Bartholomew's okay with us having those books,
Yeah,
okay.
he's as long as he's present,
Oh,
that's
so
fine.
he's there too. Is he gonna join us for
Oh yeah,
supper?
if you invite him,
I do.
then he'll stay.
All right.
He has no plans for supper, so if you're willing to have him stay on, then yeah, he'll happily take his supper here.
Sure. With the simple meat and potatoes meals that they serve here.
Yep.
I'm not gonna keep
Yeah,
any secrets from
not complex.
Bartholomew. I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody know about what I've learned about Miss Planchet and this Belt the Hall. I can't remember the name. Beltatrul?
Balthastral. It's pronounced
Balthas
Balthastral.
Balthastral.
Yeah, it's probably a corruption of the Norman French,
Yeah.
because the original name was probably Norman French.
I'm also gonna note that I doubt.
Remember, for a couple hundred years, the English aristocracy spoke French, not
Yeah.
English.
Yeah. I'm gonna let him know
Hell,
I don't know if
Planchet is a French. Is probably a corruption of a French name.
she might still be alive.
It's possible.
It's possible she might know something about the
Uh,
doctor that could
she
help us. But that
she
requires.
was
Go ahead, sorry.
roughly yeah, she was, as far as they know, 4 years younger than Whipple when they married,
Which would make
and
her.
he was what,
He was
70?
born in 738. So she was born in
So, so
42.
so 42,
Eight.
58, and 11, 68. So she'd be about 69 or 70 years of
So she
age if
could
she's
still.
alive.
Ah.
But she might be alive.
uh,
Well, Bartholomew is willing to send a letter.
oh, that's a wonderful idea.
It is outside of. It is potentially outside of his purview.
Yes.
So he's willing, but he's willing if you think it's worth it. He's willing to do it. So he
Yes.
will write a letter to Baltusrol House
It, it,
and basically inquire if she is alive and willing to, and send a list of things, of questions, if she's willing to respond by mail.
ooh. Okay.
You have
Yeah.
2 weeks after all
Yes.
until the day.
We do have two
So
weeks.
there's time for a message to get there and come back.
Yeah. All right. That's a great idea. And that actually means none of us have to actually go up there and then we're out of play for the next
Yeah.
5 days or so, 5 or 6 days.
Now the downside of that is it doesn't matter a bit to you. If you want to do this quickly, you're probably going to have to hire a post writer rather
No.
than wait for the conventional post.
Uh,
I mean, it's just
how
the
long?
point of the matter is he can't justify that probably, but you guys could just take
Right.
a little money out of pocket and do that.
hmm
No big deal.
Crap, I think that's probably a better idea. She might never write back. She might not get the letter. It could take a long time for her to get back to us.
Well, that's why hiring a writer to carry it there and wait for a response.
Yes, we'll do that.
In other words,
I
you're
will tell
basically hiring someone who will take it directly there
I'll tell
and
Mr.
who will
Balthazar that.
stay until she either just refuses to respond or until she finishes a response, and then he will take it back to you directly.
Yes, and if he can get there as fast as possible, that would be great.
That's why you're
I'm gonna
paying someone.
pay him extra for that. Yeah,
You're,
I'll
you're
look into
hiring
that.
you're hiring a messenger.
Yeah, we'll do that. Let's do that. Basically, I want to find out anything about Dr. Wibble. I'm going to relate this strange experience. I'll write a letter myself, and this strange thing has happened.
Okay.
Of his, he has apparently passed away.
No.
Blah blah blah, and
Now
there's a weird
Bartholomew will
inheritance.
tell
There's an
you.
inheritance. Go ahead, sorry.
Bartholomew will tell you that, as far as he knows, a letter was sent to Baltusrol House
Mhm.
regarding the fact that Dr. Wibble was dead, but he does not know if she received it or responded.
Oh, that's true. Would have gone back to his office. He hasn't been home in 2 weeks, and he hasn't written any letters.
Exactly.
Um,
He should
all right.
probably write back to the office and let them know he's alive.
I thought he did. I told him to.
Yeah, he's probably forgotten.
I'm gonna slide him pen and paper.
They
Write
can
your
do it right
office
now.
right this moment. Write them, Mister.
You get a feeling that you get a feeling that Bartholomew is what we would now call a little ADHD.
Okay. Well, he's
Yeah.
also seen some
I'm
shit
getting
now
that feeling.
too. Mr.
Yeah,
Herbert's
not
very worried about you. Just write
Yeah,
him a
so
note. Tell
he-
him you're fine.
In other words, he'll do it if you put paper in front of him, and they
Yeah,
can do it
I
right
do
now.
that while I'm working on this letter to her. He can work on the letter back to Herbert just to say
Yeah.
everything's
Because
okay. It's
Because
weird,
5
but it's
minutes later,
okay.
he's going to forget.
If he stops
He
writing and
doesn't do
starts
it right
talking
now.
or something, I'm gonna just tap the paper
They can finish in your presence.
until I see him sign it, fold
Yep.
it, and address it. I'm gonna
Yep.
be on his back, not
Okay,
not
so
cruelly,
Having-
but kindly.
gotcha.
Having Dr. Payne just like, just sort of like tap like whatever I need to do would fix me.
Yep.
Graham.
Come on,
specifically.
now,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
make Dr. Payne into your imaginary friend, Graham. I've had one of those when I've had some rough times, and he was very helpful.
It's about the time you finish dinner tonight that the doorman will come up
Mhm.
and announce that you have a caller, that there's a man here to see you.
Who's he looking at? Me?
He's looking at all of you.
Oh,
Apparently, he's here to see Mr. Bartholomew's party.
is there a card? I say to the doorman.
He didn't give me a card, sir,
name?
but I believe he's a constable.
I look at the others because I don't know anything about this yet. We haven't had a chance to really disseminate information.
We encountered a constable. Well, we sought out the constable
Bring him in.
front of Dr. Wibble's house.
Okay.
I'm
So
finishing
you'll
my letter.
ask him to tell him it's okay.
Mhm.
And some of you will recognize this man, Jeremiah Marcy.
Mercy, I haven't met him yet.
Those of you who did meet him the other night will recognize him. Middle-aged, without his hat on, slightly balding, because he's holding his hat under his arm as he enters. Remember, you met him on the street, so he was still wearing his hat. This is the first time you've seen him without a hat on.
I forgot to tell you, Dr. Martel Thomas said he was going to talk to the constable. Yes, sir.
Sorry to bother you if you're eating supper, gentlemen.
Oh, not at all. Constable, I stand up and I go to shake his hand. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Oh,
Please have a
How can we
seat.
help?
good to see you again. Oh, well, thank you. Right, I'm not on patrol quite yet.
Oh, dig in.
And he was about to look at that like was waiting to be
Yeah,
offered.
if there's food, like a plate of food and stuff, and
Yeah.
I'll get up and get him a libation. An
Trinity
ale
Hall
or
is
something.
served like that, where it's basically served what we would call family style,
Mhm.
where the meat, the bread, and the potatoes and whatnot are placed in large pots, and you take from the center and put it on your own dish.
I'll make sure he has something to drink too.
Yeah, okay. What he's come to tell you, which he will first enjoy a meal before doing so,
Mhm.
is that he was asked to grant you access to Dr. Wibble's apartment before his shift tonight.
Ah, yes, that Dr. Martel Thomas.
Ah,
I asked if he could help us with that, and he said he would.
He didn't know who pulled the strings further up. As far as he knows, it was the directorate of the university
Oh,
who asked his boss to have him do so.
very good. Well,
To
can
look
you take us
for,
after
to
you
look
eat?
for the men who were with Mr. Bartholomew and invite them.
Yes. Oh,
And then
Mr.
he found out that Mr. Bartholomew was here. So, he first inquired at Bartholomew's residence, then found out that he was working with some guys who basically he spent the last half hour tracking you guys down across
And
across
now he
borders.
explains it all to us, right?
Yes.
Alright.
Hey, he's done some detective work. He's
I'm
proud of it.
I'm very polite, and I listen to the whole long story as we eat.
Yep.
Mr. Bartholomew, as you've heard, we've got permission to enter Dr. Wibble's apartments. Would you wish to accompany us, or would you need to accompany us, or would you even want to accompany us?
I, that's a good question.
It's up to you.
It's
So,
been quite it's been quite the day, and I've had enough difficulties for one day.
well, we'll have the constable with us. We won't take anything.
That's as well as that. So perhaps I might retire early this evening and leave you with this gentleman.
Very
In other
good.
words, Bartholomew has an excuse to not get involved any further, and he's
Sure.
taking it.
Did he finish his letter?
Yeah, he will finish the letter.
Is it postmark? Has he marked it where it's supposed to go and all that stuff and
Yeah,
sealed it in such a way? All right.
yep. Put the address on it, put a seal on it,
Good.
so you can take it with you to the post or post
Yes.
it yourself. Essentially, make
I
sure
will
it goes.
post this letter myself.
Yeah, because
One of us.
there's a daily mail to London goes daily,
Okay.
so you can just put that in the post.
That's what I'll be doing. Wherever there's a post box on our way to Wibble's apartment, or if I have to, I can send it the next day. Uh,
Yep.
I would like to try to finish up my own. Um, damn it, we're running out of
And
time.
you'll need to finish quickly because one, you don't want to be out after dark
I
yourself,
know.
and two, Constable Marcy is supposed to do this before he begins his patrol,
What time does his patrol begin?
10 p.m.
That's way after dark. Okay,
And by the time he's found you guys, it's about 8 p.m.
so it is dark, or will be very shortly.
We'll be very shortly.
Yes. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to go with you to
Well
the
then-
apartment, gentlemen. I will have to post this letter and finish up the one I'm writing and try to get a postman or a rider to take it up. So go on without me. Document everything. I told them over dinner what I'd learned about Wibble's wife, and I tell them I will need I would love a full report once you return, because I don't even know. We haven't really talked about what happened in the office, and we haven't really talked about what they learned about the 6 names and all that jazz yet either. Unless you talked about that over
Oh, yeah.
dinner.
Probably, if you guys could have shared what you learned over dinner if you wished to.
Did you guys
For
bring
them,
up?
for them.
We're talking about it in like an hour of time,
Right,
so
that's
you could
true.
have shared these things if you wanted to.
Did anybody mention freaking out in the office? I know Bartholomew doesn't mention it,
You
right?
will not bring it up.
Right. Does anybody? Who else freaked out? Was it? I think it was Graham. I thought it was Edgeworth, but maybe it was Baker. I know it wasn't Illingsworth. That's the only thing I can remember.
Say, I know it wasn't Illingsworth.
Illingsworth was
So
completely
Wasn't you.
oblivious.
Who was the other one who missed the sand roll in the office when that thing sort of the presence?
It was like a spot
it
hidden or
me?
something, or a power check. It was a power check.
Yeah, it was.
Oh wait, no, I think I do remember failing a power check last game.
That was
Yeah, so
probably
you
you
were also
then.
aware. You felt there was a presence in the office.
We have not
Hmm.
discussed. I don't think that has come up. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ross or Josh.
Josh, say what you're gonna.
Josh?
Are you there?
Baker?
Okay.
Is he there?
I don't know.
Not
I mean,
sure.
he's there, but he's not answering.
Mhm.
Josh,
Yeah.
can you hear us?
Josh?
I don't know. Maybe he got cut off and it hasn't.
They got to him. They got to him.
All right. So anyway, we haven't discussed this at all yet. Any of our
Yeah.
like that weird
Nobody-
shit that has not come up during dinner, right?
That's the one thing apparently that has not come up.
Okay,
Hey,
so
right now,
that's-
if you don't bring it up, no one else is. So.
No, I'm not going to bring it up because I was the one that noticed Edgeworth and and I believe I noticed Edgeworth and Cornelius looked, and then I just caught a glimpse of something and it freaked me out.
Yeah.
Um,
You
but I'm not bringing it up. No, not yet. Not
okay?
around Bartholomew. He's
So
already on
who's
shaky
going?
ground.
Okay, so who's going to have a look at Dr. Wibble's apartment?
Yeah, I will.
Not me. I got to post this letter and I got to try to arrange very quickly before dark for a writer to take the secondary letter, which I will give you a
Yeah.
copy of, Kevin. I'll write something up and give
Okay.
it to you at some point very shortly.
Okay. And the nice thing about Trinity Hall is you can ask, say, one of the rectors there to
Yes.
locate a messenger who'd
Yes.
be willing to leave early in the morning.
And can you take this and post it for me? And here
They can do
is
that too.
here's a shilling, my good man.
Yeah. They can put
So
that in
yeah,
the mail case. They can get that in the
perfect.
morning with the coach that carries the mail in the morning,
Okay.
and they can find someone willing to undertake a job as a messenger. Someone who has or has access to a horse
Awesome.
who can ride to Baltusrol and back again.
Okay.
Get back to you as fast as they can do so.
And does Bartholomew take those books with him that we took from Wibble's house? Wibble's office?
Um, he's okay with them staying at Trinity Hall
Okay.
because he's pretty sure they're safe here. They're as safe here as at his workstation.
Well, didn't you say Wibble's Egyptus, Oedipus Egyptus,
Yeah.
was annotated in Latin?
Yes.
I can read Latin.
Yeah. The text itself is in Latin. It's a translation. The book is about translations of hieroglyphs.
Right.
But the language they're translated into is Latin.
Right. But didn't you say it was annotated? Wibble took a ton of notes.
Yes.
Can I
There's also
examine?
his handwritten notes.
Can I examine all those notes while they're gone?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'll
That's
do
the thing
tonight.
to do. Grab a candle and get to work.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you, I think we've lost Josh for the moment, or he's disconnected or something.
Yeah, I'd say I don't know, but
Yeah, well, we'll move on and hope he catches up in a moment.
right.
So, as for the two of you at least, I'm going to go with the constable to Dr. Wibble's apartment. And of course, we know his neighbor.
I guess I did want to make sure I double check before we left what we want to get from Wibble's office.
Oh, for
That's
me?
an excellent question.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I really
Are
don't
we
know.
looking?
We're trying to
Are we
find
looking
out
for like?
notes, any of his
Okay.
personal notes or a diary maybe. That would be great.
Okay.
Just everything. Just look at everything.
Okay.
If there is a diary or something, grab it. We're gonna borrow
Okay.
it. We're not gonna steal these things. We'll let that Mr. Bartholomew
Right.
know in the morning that we found this.
Or
It's-
at
it's
least
same-
we're in possession of this,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and we will
And same for you,
gladly
Edgeworth.
return whatever we have.
And
Yeah.
Edgeworth knows Egypt, knows some things, and he should be good for trying to see if there's anything important. If you take anything, document it.
Yeah.
And then we won't get in trouble for it.
Or yeah. Say we'll have the constable document it or whatever. He
Yeah,
can
he's
watch
a
this,
witness. You
whatever
can
we
write
take.
it down, show
Yep.
it to him. He can sign off on it and say they just
Yeah.
took this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll.
Anything
You
useful.
may have to convince him to do that because his mandate is to allow you access to the apartment.
Yeah.
Whether he's
Okay.
going to allow you to take anything is a different issue.
Illingsworth is very persuasive.
Yeah.
I can
So
try to be at least.
So you walk over to Latham Hall and up the stairs. You will, of course, notice Mrs. Stevenson, who will peek her eyes through the window to watch you. Because that's what she does. She'll wave in response. And then the constable will fish through a bunch of keys he's got until he finds the one he's looking for, realizes he doesn't have the right key after all, and instead has to talk with the house manager. What was his name? He's on here somewhere as well. Carson Howard, the house manager, to get the key.
Carson.
Carson Howard. He's the house manager for Latham Hall Apartments. So he'll have to basically get the key from Howard. The three of you will then make your way up the stairs, and he'll open the door. As for Constable Marcy, this is going to be a little easier if you want to steal anything, because he does not actually want to go inside.
Are you
And
quite
those
all
of you
right,
with
Constable?
at least one of you I know has at least 25 in psychology.
Psychology.
My psychology's only
Nope.
10.
57
Nope.
for me. And I'm
You're the
not
one.
there.
Well,
Yeah.
the two of you are
Nope.
welcome to make a psychology roll then.
Always a chance.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Not a crit fail though.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to come in. He
I'll wait by the
positions
door,
himself at the
gentlemen.
door. Yeah, he positions himself at the door as if he's on guard.
All right.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
the apartment itself, it's sparse. Whereas his office was filled with bookshelves and artifacts, this hardly looks like a man lived here.
Okay.
The bedroom, for instance, bed, wardrobe, chamber pot, nightstand with a wash basin. Not much else.
Yeah. No side tables or yeah. Okay.
No, just the bare minimum of furniture in the bedroom. The wardrobe contains 3 remaining suits of clothing that were Dr.
Okay.
Whibble's size, and 1 set of academic regalia.
Okay.
So his doctor's robes and hood,
Mm-hmm.
the kind of thing you would wear at graduations.
Right.
There's a kitchen, sort of. That is to say, a point at which you could, well, basically a fireplace that can be used for a bit of cooking and warmth and heating. It looks like it was practically never used. Or it's immaculately cleaned up, one or the other.
Okay.
Probably never used, or very rarely used. So he never cooked anything on this fire, and probably used minimal or no heat much of the time. Relying instead on an extra blanket, I guess, rather than actually heating the apartment. Which is a little on the weird side, admittedly.
Say, maybe if he even slept here at all.
By
the way he kept things, who knows whether he slept here at all, so.
A room that contains nothing but a single easy chair and a collection of what appear to be books and notes.
Yeah, go through those, or well, yeah.
But that's not the real prize here. No.
Okay.
The prize is what was probably the other bedroom, because it's been stripped to the bare floor. The floor itself is covered in what appears to be painted symbols, like someone was drawing hieroglyphs on the floor, on the walls, on the ceiling. There's practically not an inch of surface in this room that isn't covered with some kind of glyphs that appear to have been made with assorted paint in different colors. One corner of the room holds what appears to be a darkened mirror.
Okay.
It's 6 feet tall and about 2 feet wide, set into a frame traced in silver. That it stands in a corner of the room. The only spot in the room that is not covered in those glyphs is the space where the mirror stands. So there's a bare area of floor, a circle maybe 12 inches wide, where the mirror stands.
There's even markings on the ceiling and everything?
On the ceiling, too.
Okay.
There's, other than where the mirror stands, there's not an inch of this room. Oh, and if you look closely, you will also notice that near the mirror, it's hard to spot first among the glyphs, but if you take a little time, you'll find it, is a small amount of dried blood. It's not much. It's located less than a foot from the mirror. And it's easy to miss, except that you have the time to really sort of go over the room carefully. Because there's not a lot of blood there. This is not a murder scene. This looks more like a shaving accident. Josh's thing is doing something weird.
Yeah.
Is that his
It's creeping
phone?
me
It
out.
sounds like his phone is ringing.
Okay.
Yeah,
That might be his phone ringing.
yeah, I think something's really wrong with it, with whatever his connection is. Anyway, that's what you got here. So you've got some books and notes and an easy chair. So clearly someone working, sitting in an easy chair, maybe. And the glyph chamber, which probably was intended as a second. In other words, this was intended as a 2-bedroom apartment with a pantry. That's where the easy chair is, a fireplace / dining room, kitchen area, and 2 bedrooms. So 1 bedroom is being used as a bedroom. The pantry / dining area is being used as a study, and the 2nd bedroom is being used as the glyph chamber.
Okay. I know I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm going to go investigate that mirror.
Okay. You should make yourself a power roll.
Okay.
Oh.
Ooh, I like the number I first saw. Yeah, that's a fail.
Okay. There's no reflection.
Okay, so sanity
And,
roll at that.
yeah, sanity roll be required. It's disorienting. That
Well,
gives
I
you
imagine that would also be unnerving, so.
Yeah.
And I failed that.
Touch it.
Unfortunately,
Great.
you also failed the power roll, so it won't cost you anywhere near as much.
Touch it.
No, I'm not going to touch. Well, I don't know.
Lick it.
I'm not going to lick it.
Do not lick the science.
No.
You'll lose 2
Not like
points.
his cult.
Okay, that's fine.
I
I like that number anyway. It's nice and round.
From first off, it's the disorientation of not seeing a reflection, and secondly, it's the growing awareness that there are 3 of you in this apartment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I quickly turn around and I start scanning the apartment.
You turn around and, well, there's Mr. Edgeworth. What is Mr. Edgeworth doing at the moment?
I was initially looking at the books, but then I followed Illingsworth into the room, and I'm just staring at the glyphs. I'm looking for any cartouche among the hieroglyphics inscribed in the walls, specifically looking for the cartouche of Nyarlathotep.
Okay, a spot hidden roll will do you there, as you know what the cartouche looks like.
Look for my initials.
I was thinking
Yeah,
that.
I'm thinking if I can find one,
Well, spot hidden regardless. The glyphs are such a mess over each other that sorting out any one individual is going to be a hassle.
Oh, yeah.
that is a hard success.
Yes.
Nice.
Those glyphs, the Nyarlathotep cartouche occurs at least a dozen times. So do the cartouches of the knowing ones. There's a bunch of other ones too. Some of them you recognize. For instance, in front and in back of the mirror is the feather of Ma'at. Over here, the name of Thoth reoccurs a number of times. No surprise there. Some of them are names that you'll recognize only from the Oedipus. For instance, what you thought at first was one example of Nyarlathotep is actually more correctly Imhotep, a figure that occurs in the Oedipus. Builder, the architect.
Hello, I'm back. Sorry, I
Okay.
appeared first.
You what? What happened?
My computer just died on me.
Oh.
So did you go with them? Would you have gone with them to investigate Wibble's apartment?
No. That's.
No, that's Graham. Graham's computer just died. He's on his phone, I think, now.
Yeah. I hot swapped onto my phone. But yeah, so where I left off,
I thought you were Josh for a moment.
I understand. Apparently, every Canadian in this chat is experiencing difficulties tonight.
Well, Josh's thing was flickering while you were speaking.
I
think
see.
that's his phone again doing that thing.
Wacky.
Yeah.
Yes. So I left off. Sorry, I crashed around where you said there were the cartouche of the knowing ones, and then you
Yeah.
said there were more.
Yeah, there's the cartouche of Nyarlathotep. There's the knowing ones. There's the feather of Ma'at by the mirror, mostly.
Imhotep.
There's the names of figures that are recognized, like Thoth or Imhotep. So there's a mixture of recognizable figures, gods and men, and then cartouches of names that you don't know.
Mm.
Bob.
You
Not
will
Bob.
recognize, for instance, one representing Tutmos,
Mm-hmm.
the pharaoh. That's him over there, and over there. Some of them actually are not hieroglyph at all. There's parts that are just look like they're scrawled, as if he lost his shit in the middle of creating hieroglyphs, or tried to draw something he didn't know how to draw, or the paint dripped. As for the blood, the only place you'll find it for certain is in front of the mirror.
And say I'll probably examine that maybe a little bit more. I don't know if there's anything to find there per se, but
It's dried blood, and it's not a lot.
okay.
And you can, with a thorough search, you can convince yourself there is no more. This does not look like a murder scene. There's not enough blood to be a murder. It really is the closer to the amount of blood you get in a shaving accident.
Mm-hmm.
Well, could have been in like a small animal, perhaps as well. I don't know. Okay.
Actually, make yourself an intelligence roll. As you're looking at the spatter and the pattern.
Ooh, I rolled an 05, which has got to be a success. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's an extreme.
Actually, you know exactly where it's from then. They found Wibble's body face down in front of the mirror. Yeah. That's he smashed his nose on
okay, yeah. Now I'm avoiding even looking in this mirror now. Like I don't want this mirror to kill me. I'm thinking this mirror has killed Wibble somehow. But
well, he was standing in front of it apparently when he died. The blood indicates probably where his nose impacted the floor.
Okay.
Because it looks like he fell. It also means, by the way, that most humans, when they fall, put their hands out in an attempt to catch themselves.
He was technically already dead before he even hit the floor, perhaps.
Or at least unconscious.
Yeah, okay.
Unable to put his hands out and attempt to break his fall for some reason. So he apparently landed nose. The first thing that hit the floor was his nose.
Face first, yeah.
Yeah.
You said there was only a small amount of blood, though, yes?
Yeah.
That might have
blood that probably came from busting his nose.
Yeah, but if the puddle is very small, that might imply that his heart had stopped beating by the time he hit the floor.
This is also true, although also some of it may have been picked up by his face. Or some of the blood may have ended up on his face instead of on the floor.
Very true.
So any way you cut it, this is certainly where his face hit the floor.
Okay.
And the fact that he that suggests that he did not attempt to break his fall with his hands, like most humans would instinctively do. So he is possibly either unconscious or already dead at the moment of impact. So if he died standing in front of the mirror, then his body fell forward. And that's how they found him. And they said, the constable said they found him face down on the floor.
Okay.
So he fell forward in death.
But yeah, I guess I am keeping my back to the mirror, but I'm going to keep scanning the room because I saw something in that mirror as well.
Was it in the mirror or was it in the room?
Well, I thought I saw the reflection of something in the mirror that was in the room, but I don't know if it was in the room or not. So
The problem here, yeah.
Right.
Touch it. Touch the mirror.
No, I'm not touching the mirror. You come here and you touch the mirror. Shut up.
It's too dark outside.
Is there a bed sheet on Dr. Whipple's bed?
Yeah, the bed is made. It does not look like it has been slept in, or someone made the bed after they removed the body.
If we want to take the mirror, I would suggest we cover it.
Yeah, although stealing the mirror could be tricky because it's not like you put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
No, it's 2 feet wide. Yeah.
It's 6 feet tall and about 2 feet
Oh,
wide.
6 feet tall, 2 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's big.
I don't think we have to worry about anyone taking the mirror. If the mirror doesn't want to be taken, I don't think it won't. I don't think it will be.
Yeah, good luck stealing it in any case.
Yeah.
It's not a subtle thing to steal.
No.
Let's look more on his notes, if we shall.
Mm-hmm.
So a library use roll to make sense of his notes.
Okay. I remember I have a 58 in library use. So
Well, that's way better than me.
I can't see my sheet right now, but I remember that number.
Yep.
I failed. I rolled an 80 out of 20.
Oh, and does either of you read Latin?
I read Latin.
I do not.
Okay, because all of his notes are in Latin shorthand.
Don't forget to push, guys, or
yeah,
because you have time right now. It's not like you're rushing to find things.
You don't have that much time, remember?
Oh, that's true.
Constable Marcy starts his patrol at 10 p.m.
Okay.
While you have time, you don't have unlimited time.
Yeah. Oh, Josh is back.
Just take all the books and throw them out a window. Look at them later.
Could do that.
Josh, are you here?
I'm speaking through my phone. My laptop died.
Hilarious.
Canadians and laptops.
Yeah.
Why is Canada hating?
Hey, man, half their country's burning right now. Give them a break.
Yep.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Oh, well, apparently the smoke from the wildfire is affecting air quality here in New York.
And here too.
We can smell it here in North Carolina. To be quite honest.
It's quite the wildfire.
Yep. Anywho, Baker, would you like to give a library use roll a try as well? You're here.
Yeah. Did you want to come to the apartment?
To Wibble's apartment?
Sure.
Okay. So you'll have seen what they saw. Spartan apartment, small collection of books and notes, the glyph room with the walls and floors and ceilings covered in glyphs, and the black mirror.
Yeah, then I checked out the mirror, and now I got my back to the wall, and I'm not looking in the mirror, and I'm scanning about the room.
Yeah, you still can't shake the feeling that
there was something. I saw something, and I don't know what I saw.
I got a regular success for library use.
Okay.
Yay!
And by the way, when Baker crosses your field of view, you're convinced there's 4 people in the apartment, not 3. This constant sense that you're missing someone.
Is that to me or?
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That someone is unaccounted for here.
Right.
As for Mr. Baker, you a regular success on library use. How's your Latin?
I have Latin in my skills, but it's not.
Is it at least 25?
It is 25.
Okay, so you can casually read Latin, which is to say that it is clear that all of Wibble's note-taking is done in Latin shorthand. With a regular success on library use, you can get a sense of what he's working on here. There's mathematics. There's a bit of astronomy at work here. There's a number of notes. You're not going to be able to sort this shit out in time by the time the constable has to start his patrol. So if you want, you might want to attempt to take these things with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like a sleight of hand or?
No, we don't even need a sleight of hand. The constable's not even in the room with us.
Yeah, the Constable Marcy's waiting outside. The point is, if you come outside with a loaded bag, he's going to get suspicious.
True.
The notes you could just put in your pocket.
Does Baker get a psychology check from Marcy to try to see why he's all flipped out, won't come in?
Oh, yeah.
Psychology check?
Yeah, you can make a psychology roll as to why Constable Marcy refused to enter the apartment. Why is he standing guard outside? He should have come in with you to make sure you're not stealing stuff. Instead, he points out that you're a gentleman and certainly wouldn't do that and stays outside. Which is to say, he does not want to enter the apartment. And the fact that he trusts you as a gentleman is an excuse.
96. So
So
no.
no. Yeah, no. So he does not want to enter the apartment. Will not. So you could take the notes easily. The books will be harder because some of them are large. Whereas the notes are just paper. You can fold that up and put it inside your coat.
I'll take the notes.
Okay. So you've got at least that. Some sense, perhaps, of what Wibble was doing. It's worth pointing out that this is a mixture of Latin and mathematics. So some of the notes include what are very clearly mathematical equations. I don't know if you know anything, any of you know anything about mathematics.
I have natural philosophy at 21%. I believe that's the science of this, of Regency Cthulhu.
It is.
So if I get a look at that, I might be able to help a little.
Possibly. At this point, of course, you're probably going to want to have to move on because Constable Marcy needs to begin his patrol.
Yes.
So once you guys have what you came for, he's, as you guys come out, it's like, and did you gentlemen find that which you were looking for?
And maybe more. Then that's
Excellent.
all I'm going to say.
As he locks the door and passes the key back to Mr. Carson on his way out. So, are you guys going anywhere else or back to Trinity Hall?
No, you go first.
No, I was going to say back to Trinity Hall, I believe. So unless anyone else has anything else they can think of, so.
I think we should head back to Trinity Hall, as I think we need to start looking into necromancy.
And then, the constable's heading out on his rounds then, right? So it's just the three of us heading back?
Yeah.
And that's when I'm going to explain to them that I thought I saw something in the mirror. I couldn't make out what it was, but I thought for sure there was a fourth entity in the room with us when I was checking over the mirror. And when I turned around, there was nothing there. So
When you say entity, do you mean person, or like do you think it was a shadow?
I can't say yes or no to either. Like I say, I wasn't able to make it out. I guess I thought it was a person, but like I said, I couldn't see anyone.
Is it possible, dear gentlemen, that Dr. Whipple never left his apartment?
Well, I never met Dr. Whipple, so I couldn't tell you what he looked like. Nor did I see anything long enough to make out any features on what I saw. So
I think the mirror might be the key. But at the same time, the hieroglyphics on the walls, they were madness, of course, but there's also frequent mention of the knowing ones and this Nyarlathotep entity. I think that Dr. Wibble intended his assistance to return for a greater purpose than just a reading of a will. And what that is yet, I am unsure, but I do think that our good doctor is in danger.
yes, perhaps we can make more light on the subject as we examine his notes, or as you gentlemen examine his notes, as I feel I will just get in the way when it comes to that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, you've got his notes. Now, Dr. Payne had already started on his annotations in the Oedipus. So what you'll need there is an education roll to start to make sense of his notes.
Yes, 65 out of 65. Right on it.
Nice.
Holy
Okay.
crap.
So this is going to take a couple of days of work
Okay.
between what you've started in the Oedipus, what you've got in his books, what you brought with you, and the notes you recovered from his apartment.
Okay. That's fair.
You're going to start. It's going to be able. You're going to with that. You're going to start to put things together. He references this being called Nyarlathotep on a number of occasions,
Oh boy.
and as near as you can tell, the mirror he seems to imagine is a means by which this being can be communicated with.
Oh, let's break it.
And that when certain mathematics appear to be correct, then it's possible to use the mirror to communicate.
What kind of
And
mathematics?
they seem to involve the position and location of the Earth. Certain might be astronomical
The
features,
stars are right.
sort of. Yeah, you could call it that if you like.
Okay.
And the next day, when that should happen,
The 29th
precisely,
is the day of the reading of the will. And Bartholomew
Precisely.
probably has instructions. We're supposed to do it in his apartment.
actually, it was supposed to be at Monmouth Hall,
Oh, well,
not at the apartment itself.
close.
But it is the day the will is to be read is the next day when his mathematics appear to sum up what he wants.
Mm.
Nope.
In other words, the next day
Don't like
when
that.
communicating with Nyarlathotep would be possible.
Okay.
Because apparently you can only communicate with this being under these conditions.
Now this is Wibble's notes that they brought back. The
Plus
Oedipus,
your work from the
Egyptius,
Yeah, I'm summarizing several days worth of work here.
In those
put all this
days,
together.
are we all working the whole time, or would they have time to go to that bookstore if they wanted to?
Someone will have time to visit the bookstore if they want
Okay.
to, especially those who are not working directly on the translation.
Also, in this time, I'm making sure I info dump about there's some fucking thing in that office. By the way,
Yeah,
gentlemen, probably when they came home that first night, I was like, "Oh, by the way,
Yep. So
something's
you're
in
telling
this
them about the
office,
thing in the office.
and it's
According-
awful."
According to Illingsworth, there's something in his home as well.
Oh, Illingsworth, but you didn't see it in the office.
No, I really didn't see it in his home.
No, I didn't
I
either.
only saw it when I examined this black mirror in his home.
Okay, we still can't put together through his notes. We still can't put together what Wibble's hoping to accomplish, though. Having all of
Other
us.
than 6 of you are to receive a gift.
Okay.
No clue or indication on what that
We need
gift
to-
may pertain
I sent you
to
the
be.
letter, Kevin, that I wrote. I
Yeah,
wrote it
no,
while
the glyph he uses best translates the English word gift.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Or actually, theoretically, you could even translate it as tribute or honor.
Sure.
Something received with joy.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
you want.
Keep telling us that, Keeper, Kevin.
Mhm.
Because Connor's
Yeah,
already warned us about this Nyarlathotep fellow, and he sounds bad.
But the point is, no matter how you tune the translation, the idea is that the thing you are to receive is a thing that's desirable.
It's supposed to be something that will actually
Something
be
you're going to want.
good. It's supposed to be something
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, one of my
Well, it's
all my
something- let's-
miscarried children will be coming back. I don't know.
Let's rephrase that. Dr. Wibble thinks it's something you're going to want.
I think it's something Dr.
Now-
Wibble's going to want.
Whether that you want, whether you think what he wants to give you is a good idea is a completely different issue. The point is, he's giving you what, according to his own text, he's giving you what he thinks is a valuable gift, something you will very much want.
I sent a letter to you on Discord. The basic letter. It's in a weird font. If you want me to put it in just something real simple, I don't know if you have difficulty reading fonts or anything like that, because some people do have problems with that. I can do that too.
Where is it?
I sent it to
Message
you. I messaged it to you in Discord. I put it together while they were exploring the apartment.
Okay.
Direct message. Yeah.
It's kind of a plea for help, basically.
See if I can get it to open.
And did you guys tell me it should be a PDF? Yeah. did you guys tell me about what you saw in that office and
Yeah,
everything else?
I would have info dumped. So
Okay, because I still had no idea about what was in the office yet. That
Mm.
anybody
oh
else saw it but
well,
me,
say
for
I guess
sure.
in the office or in the home.
Either.
Say
I want to know
and say
everything.
the office I didn't see a thing, but in the home I saw whatever I saw,
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
there
Did
it is.
or I can't explain what I saw.
you find it?
Yeah, I did.
It's about 4 paragraphs. It's kind of long. I've had a few beers, and so I get long-winded writing when I drink. Even just a little, I start getting kind of flowery and shit. And is that font okay? Can you read that without problem?
Oh yeah,
Great.
we make props for LARPs all the time.
Okay.
Remember?
I will relate to the others. Kind of what I sent this letter to her, telling her something odd was happening. Anything she could tell us about Dr. Wibble that might shed any light on it would be great. And that there seems to be some element of danger, even before Illingsworth, or even before you guys. I think
Right.
Edgeworth. Somebody mentioned that you thought I was in danger. Even before that, I was feeling that way too. So,
Mm.
oh dear, my
So,
collar. It's not tall enough.
yep. So what we're doing is basically advancing the clock several days
Yeah, right.
because that's the time it takes to do all of this. Uh,
Well, could somebody go to
Now,
what's his name's bookstore?
yeah, in that time, someone can, if they wish, visit the bookstore. Constantine Pearsall is the book dealer.
I'm willing to go with y'all
Yeah.
if we have some time that we can have some downtime during one of the days during the light.
Yeah, you can all take time off to go if you want to.
Okay,
If
probably
you want to go
Monday.
collectively, sure. His shop is on Bridge Street, and it is easy to find, but it isn't. That it's easy to find if you know where to look, but easy to miss if you didn't know where to look for it, because it's a narrow storefront
It's a secret
with a
bookstore.
small sign that reads "C. Pearsall Books." Nothing more. The front windows are
Shit's
covered
going
with
on.
shades, so you can't even see any merchandise inside.
This is shady as hell. I am
Literally
armed.
shady.
I'm armed,
It is
by the way.
literally shady.
Yeah.
Yep. And when you enter, the door hits one of those little bells that hangs above it, so it makes a noise. The second noise in question is a curious meow, which is a
Oh,
cat, which is sitting on top of a bookshelf near the ceiling
Oh.
and watches you as you enter. The place is a maze.
Kitty, kitty, kitty,
It's a
kitty.
lot of shelves stacked floor to ceiling with enough space to move between them if you're careful.
Anybody have claustrophobia?
Nope,
Anyone who's
not
claustrophobic is
yet.
going to find this very, very challenging.
Not yet.
Um,
Classic
also,
Cthulhu
it is
answer. Not yet.
it is remarkably dark in here. The shades are drawn, and these book stacks emit very little light.
No lanterns or anything lit in here?
Nope, there is no current light source.
Hello?
And when
Kitty,
you
kitty.
call out,
Kitty, kitty, kitty.
the cat gives you a look like, really? It's a cat.
It's a
Puss,
cat.
puss, puss.
And then from somewhere further back, uh, pardon me, sir, I'll be with you momentarily. And then there's a kind of noise, which some of you will recognize as a flint striker.
Mm.
And then you see a man approaching with a lamp in his hand.
Okay.
He lit a lamp, apparently. I'm guessing that's Constantine Pearsall, who's maybe 5'2".
Oh, God. Does he have a giant head and, like, missing
Uh,
fingers?
no,
Oh,
his
thank
head is
God.
perfectly normal size.
Okay, good.
It's easy to see because he doesn't have much hair. A pair of round eyeglasses are resting on his forehead. And he looks like he's sort of half dressed. Like he's wearing a waistcoat, but no coat.
Oh,
Mm.
he's just
Full breeches.
casual.
His stockings are covered in runs and damaged, and his feet are stuffed into carpet slippers. This is not a man who cares about his appearance if he thinks you're customers. Or does business with people who understand not to care about appearances. Oh, and the look on his face suggests that you are not the person he was expecting. Can I help you, gentlemen?
I look at Edgeworth.
He has an odd accent.
Uh-oh.
Good
English
evening,
is clearly
sir.
not his first language.
Ah.
Or good afternoon. Or is it morning?
When did you go?
Let's go in the morning.
Yeah, let's go
Okay.
in the morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning
Uh,
to you too.
My companion and I understand that you are a purveyor of literature and difficult, difficult to
He's-
obtain books.
He smirks.
What gave it away?
His teeth are the brown of tobacco and snuff.
Is there a smell of any tobacco in here? Or old
No,
stale
actually.
smoke?
No.
Okay.
So snuff, probably.
Obviously.
And tobacco, snuff is usually taken through the nose.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably doesn't smoke in this room.
Well, snuff doesn't require flame either. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, if there's something you're looking for, please step into my office.
By me?
And with the light, we'll show you past a little sales counter and through a door into what is clearly an actual office. It's not much of an office. A small desk, enough space to hold a couple of accounting books, a couple of chairs. He takes a taper from the wall, uses the lamp to light an overhead lamp, so there's more light in the room. He also opens the window, or more correctly, opens the shade to allow the morning light into the office.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize for the conditions, gentlemen. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, so I must protect it when possible. My physician advises me to avoid bright lights when possible.
Mm. Sound advice.
Still, if there's something you gentlemen need in terms of books, you have come to the right place. There is practically nothing I cannot acquire given time and resources.
Mm.
So, of what is it that you are searching? And he actually takes a note card out from the desk and a graphite pencil and prepares to take notes.
We are actually currently here in Cambridge to attend the reading of the will of the dearly departed Dr. Wibble.
Dearly.
I look at it.
You look at me.
I wouldn't call the man dearly departed.
His words,
Well, yours perhaps.
not mine.
From my perspective, I miss the man for one primary reason.
We understand.
He owes
His
me
coin?
£6.04.
What? He died with the effrontery to not pay his debts.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't expect he planned to
Well-
die anytime soon.
I take my wallet out.
If the man had planned to die, I expect he would have settled up beforehand, wouldn't he?
I suppose. I'm surprised.
I
the
would certainly do
solicitor-
so.
I'm surprised the solicitor hasn't been by here. £7, sir. And I will.
So
Hand
you're a
him-
friend of his to settle his debt.
I do not like debts not to be settled, especially with gentlemen and establishments as interesting as yours.
Well, then I
Of
shall,
course.
and he'll take the money, and he'll take out an account book.
Okay.
Those of you who are interested are welcome to make a spot hidden roll.
Yes.
You can read upside down.
What about
The-
What about an accounting roll?
Accounting would be even better. Accounting would be even better here.
98. I think I got.
Spot hidden would
Wait.
get you a name or two.
Crit
Accounting
fail.
will get you a good sense of what he's actually doing here.
I got a fumble. 98 out of 29.
You can't really fumble a roll like this. It's just you see nothing.
I get all dizzy.
Yeah, I failed.
I also fail.
Okay.
I
Everybody,
couldn't decipher it. I couldn't decipher it upside down.
could I get a
Because-
receipt, sir, for his lawyers?
Of course.
Thank you.
And he will make you out one.
Yeah.
He takes out another book, the kind that's got the tear out
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
carbons, and
Yep.
makes out a receipt.
I'll take it. I'm gonna give it to
Using this time he uses a pen.
Bartholomew.
Notice he uses a pencil
Oh, for
to
his
make
accounts.
notes. No, he uses a pen for accounts. The point is, when you were about to ask him, he expected you were going to ask him to acquire a book. He uses pencils for that.
Oh, for like note taking.
Also, because they're easy to destroy.
Mm.
So when he's acquired what you want, he can erase.
Oh, damn it! This guy's burning the paper trail we're hoping to follow here.
Well,
Yeah, he is.
So he's not going to
that's
be.
why.
But
Well,
no.
you may have won him over a bit by settling up what's owed.
That's what I was thinking. You
That's
might
what-
have just opened that door.
That's what I do.
Yep.
But yeah.
Settle a debts.
So did any of you succeed in an accounting or spot hidden roll?
I say
No.
I can try a spot. I
let
can
me
try a spot
try.
hidden as well. I rolled an 01 for a spot hidden. I did shit for accounting, so
Okay. Well, it's one or the other, actually.
Yeah.
okay.
Too
He
late.
only opens
And
the book.
I said accounting first, so I failed that one.
Yeah, he only opens the book long enough to
Yeah.
write, basically note the money received.
I'll speak up again and say we're actually looking into what the good doctor was researching just before his untimely demise, and we were hoping, as the gentleman who
Settled his debts.
as the gentleman who acquired the reading material he used for his research, you might be able to give us some insight into what he was acquiring and why.
Oh, so you're wanting to know what he purchased.
Yes.
It is a policy of mine to not discuss the purchases of one client with another client, for reasons that ought to be obvious to the discreet. I am nothing if not discreet, sir.
Can I make a business roll to say
Business.
we're more of businessmen, as our friend here settled his debt? We're more like the same. Yeah, we're like the same, but the same person.
Maybe we could offer him more business if he were to give us the information.
We probably shouldn't have this discussion, folks. You know what
There's
I
no
mean?
way to discuss this.
Right.
Okay.
Well, what
Aaron was asking the keeper.
Illingsworth was asking, was asking is to make a roll there. Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
So, in other words, address the matter of business. Understand that part of his business relies on discretion.
Right.
That he's
And
acquiring books that are socially inappropriate.
Oh. And I
whose
failed that
damage-
one too. My
Okay,
dice
so
are
that
against
doesn't-
me
that doesn't
today.
make a difference.
Well,
So,
the point is
yeah.
that it confirms what you already know. That this man he understands his clients value discretion, because he acquires books that ownership of which would call your reputation into question.
Okay.
Which is why he makes such a point of being so discreet. The
Oh.
reason for that spot hidden roll, if any of you had succeeded, was you could have at least seen what he was paying off. Because in that book was undoubtedly Dr. Whibble's name,
Yeah,
and the last title he purchased, for which he owed £6 for.
Oh, we don't know that. Never mind.
Except none of you were able to get a good
Yeah.
look at it when he opened the book.
Yeah.
Do you know how Dr. Whibble died,
No
Mr.
one does.
Pearsall?
No one does.
Exactly. Not even the medical men who examined the body afterwards.
Well, the man did fancy himself a magician,
Yes. There's no
so I
trace of
suppose he
poison.
probably magicked himself to death.
Yes, obviously. Possibly with whatever last book he purchased here. That would, of course, you've no responsibility of how anyone uses the things that they purchase from you. Of course not.
Yeah, and by the way, when you said that, his expression changes a bit.
To what?
In other words, at first he acted like it was a joke, like he magicked himself to death. Really?
And then I agree with him.
And then you agree with him, and his attitude changes a bit. Like, wait, what? He expected you to laugh it off too, and the fact that you agreed with him without missing a beat changes his attitude a bit.
Dr. Wibble shouldn't be dead. Nothing was wrong with him. He simply seemed to stop living. As if his soul had just left his body for no apparent reason. I get a kind of faraway look in my eyes because I'm starting to freak myself out quite a bit here.
Well,
And we think that something is supposed to happen at the reading of his will.
something has already happened.
I just look at him with raised eyes and don't say anything. Or
I
raised
was
eyebrows.
locking up the other day, as I do of an evening, when I became aware that someone was in the shop.
I stand up straight at that.
So, naturally, I went back inside. Now, I should inform you, sir, that despite my stature, I am, perhaps due to my stature, I am quite capable of defending myself.
A nod.
And I had on my person a dagger.
I look him over. Can I see any indications that he's armed right now? Okay.
No, but
Okay. I give him a look over.
it's he's not wearing his coat,
Right. He's always got a waistcoat. If he's got a dagger, it's pretty well hidden, right?
or it's in his coat.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, his coat is hanging on the back of the chair,
Okay.
but if the dagger is inside his coat.
Yeah. I don't say a word. I'm just,
So he takes it when he puts on his coat when he leaves at night.
yeah.
I investigated most thoroughly. I could find none present.
Your cat.
Bathsheba.
Yes. Does she live here all the time?
Yes.
Was she in your bookstore during this?
No. I
Well,
could not find her for nearly 2 days afterwards.
okay. I look
And when I
obviously
did find her,
nervous at that. Okay, Kevin.
she
Like
was
shaken.
under the cellar. She was in the cellar, clinging with her claws to the cellar vent, and does not appear to have eaten on either day. When I had to pry her forth with main strength, and once I did, then she accepted food and drink.
When did this happen?
Last week. It was Thursday last.
Uh,
So you see, if Dr. Wibble has magicked himself to death, perhaps he has not left us.
I look around nervously. Yes. And if he's not left us, any clue that you could give us to his purchases might be helpful to us.
And good would it do you? You fancy yourself a magician as well?
I can't help but glance at Edgeworth at that, and then look back to this gentleman.
Mm.
No, not particularly. But if there's any defenses that we could perhaps raise, or then it might be helpful. Is all I'm saying, sir.
This is not warfare, where one builds a wall and mounts the cannon.
Or perhaps you could help us, sir.
Hmm.
Have you heard of something called Nyalat Hotep?
At that, He actually smiles.
Oh God, he's the one. It's him.
So, you have heard tales of the Black Pharaoh.
I look at Edgeworth again.
This time I am specifically eyeing him and just thinking about
Yes.
the flash of the Dark Pharaoh in my mind. I've heard
He
the name.
is, from what I understand, he is the herald of chaos,
Oh dear.
the embodiment of abomination. Christian men have mistaken him for the devil, but he existed long before that, and I expect will exist long after. I mean, the Egyptians knew him 2,000 years before Christ.
Well, if you'd like to meet him, he will probably be here on the 29th.
Doctor Doctor Whipple's uh, Will Testament specifically invited the Dark Pharaoh.
I expect he did.
Why? Why do you expect that? What books did Wibble use? What do you know about him?
He looks around the room. Speaking of cats, I just saw a cat come and go. Kind of
Damn
creepy
it.
at the moment.
I was hoping his cat would come in. I'd feel so much safer if that cat was around.
Oh, Bathsheba apparently is parked on top of a bookshelf and is perfectly happy to remain there until it's time to eat.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother her.
Yeah. He looks around the room as if he's taking in the lay of the land. He then gets up and closes the door,
Mm-hmm.
opens it again, says, I will be right back. Taking the lamp with him, goes into the store. He's gone about 30 seconds. And when he comes back, he re enters the office and closes the door again. Now, none shall disturb us for the present. Oh, I think he put the closed sign up.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he doesn't want anyone else coming in right now, so he locked the front door and hung up the closed sign.
Is Bathsheba still there?
On top of the shelf, yes.
Good.
Ah, you think the cat has a better sense of such ghosts than we do? Probably right.
I'm just nodding with wide eyes.
Animals sense things that we do not. It's the ancients
True.
do that. Now, as for this matter, the last thing that Dr. Wibble asked me to seek out for him was something had a number of names over the years, but the title that he favored was the Tutmos Proclamation. I've known it as the Tutmos funerary text. It's an invocation of the Black Pharaoh in the form of a negative confession in which the speaker, admitting that he has done no wrong and denying that he has committed any of a litany of sins, invites the Black Pharaoh to come to him, to meet him in the field of reeds, and to guide him to a place of wisdom. By the way, those of you who are studying this Egyptian stuff, the field of reeds is the Egyptian term for heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In other words, that what will happen is when you die, instead of being conducted to the field of reeds and judged by Ma'at, you will meet Nyarlathotep, who will take you to some other place that's not accessible to those who have died normally.
Oh.
This.
In other words, it's a means essentially of tricking Anubis,
Yeah.
Mhm.
avoiding the judgment of Ma'at, and being taken to a place where there's going to be wisdom and power.
Mhm.
Notice it takes place after you die.
Yeah. Yeah.
And distinctly reminded of our last adventure, and spaces beyond spaces where one can achieve great wisdom and knowledge of things beyond our ken.
Hmm.
There are
Hmm.
people excited by it.
Did he get this book?
I secured him a copy of the text, yes,
That was the £6.
precisely. Six
I
pounds and four.
I look at. Is this? We've all been looking at all the books, right? Was that there
No,
amongst them?
no,
No.
Okay.
which means it may have been amongst the books in his office
His
you
office.
didn't in
Fucking
the office
office.
that you didn't take,
Yeah, we got.
or among the books from his home you just didn't notice. Probably, given that the ones at home were fewer, that text is probably still in the
It's
office
probably in the
library.
office. Okay.
We need to
Okay.
go back to the
Yeah, you could probably get. Okay. Probably in office. Have you read that book, or have you studied it at all?
Myself,
Yes, sir.
yes, actually, I'm particularly of my own, particularly interested in the business of the Sphinx
Oh,
and its association with King Tutmos.
Tutmos again. We keep running into him.
Well, he was supposedly the one of the builders or renovators of the Sphinx. And his very name means Thoth is born, as in
Mhm.
Thoth incarnated in this man. So when he rose to be pharaoh, he called himself Thoth reborn. That's what the name Tutmos means. That's not his birth name, that's the name he chose on his ascension.
Well, this Nyarlathotep fellow is supposed to come and grant those of us on a certain list gifts.
I think this is the gift he offers.
To
And you will
die
Mhm.
meet,
and to go
you will
on.
meet
Knowledge.
with Nyarlathotep in the field of reeds, and he will take you to a place of wisdom and power.
Do you know of this entity at all? Is this a is this something we can refuse?
I have no idea of how such a thing would work.
I see.
I've never actually seen such a thing. And to be frank, while I've long suspected such things to be true, the intruder, Thursday last, was the first evidence I've had of my own senses.
Do you feel yourself in any danger, Mr. Pearson?
Constantly.
Since then or always?
Since I entered this business,
Nothing more since you've seen the shadow, though, or the
I
whatever.
procure information for powerful men who do not wish to be associated with this information.
Yes.
I am in constant danger, sir. Thus the dagger.
But you're in danger from men.
I have survived, with modesty, sir, I have survived 4 attempts on my life
By
over the past 21 years.
by men.
They seemed men, although I will admit, now that I think on it, that one of the attackers left with my dagger in his throat and took no greater harm than to flee. Come to think on it.
Yes. Well, thank you, Mr. Pierce. What the hell is his name? I keep getting it wrong.
Pearsall.
Pearsall.
Mr. Pearsall. I keep wanting to
Constantine.
say Pearsonall for some reason. Mr.
It's
Pearsall.
Constantine Pearsall.
Before we go, I have one final question. The ritual to subvert Anubis, was there mention of any cost associated with this heresy?
Beyond the fact that one has to be dead, which
Hmm.
seems cost enough, if you ask me. That the magician in question must be dead for the
Mhm.
effect to occur.
That is
It
rather
seems a high
crazy.
price to pay for such things. Unless, of course, the soul is as immortal as the Egyptians claim it is, in which case those who do such things are having the most charming of afterlives, I'm certain.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, what could be finer than the field of reeds? Well, anything, to be frank. Egyptians' imagination of a paradise had a certain paucity to it.
I'd imagine once you're there, there's nothing you wouldn't do to get back to this side.
I wouldn't know one way or the other, nor see why. I mean, the point is to go there, not to remain here.
But what's the point of knowledge if you can't act on it?
Well, who's to say you can't? I'm sure those
Hmm.
would-be magicians can act on that in their afterlife. For the Egyptians, after all, the Ba, the soul, is immortal,
Hmm.
which means to gain such things is to gain them for eternity.
Mhm.
To
Yes.
them, the afterlife is quite real.
It's, it's
Why
quite.
would one come back to this vale of tears when things are so much better over there?
Hmm.
Indeed.
I
Yes.
mean, after all, don't Christians say the same damn thing?
I nod. That's the point I was about to make.
Indeed. Why
So,
indeed?
so many men claim that the life after this one will be far finer. And to be frank, it seems to me that many of them use it as an excuse to justify their behavior in this life.
Mm-hmm.
Telling those they exploit, things will be greater once you are dead. Thus, I can justify treating you terribly here in the living world.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I've known a number of these men. You would recognize the names, which is why I will not speak them.
Well, thank you again, Mr. Pearsall.
Thank you.
Absolutely. If there's
I
anything
shake his
you're looking
hand.
for in particular, I'd be happy to search it out for you.
I wouldn't know where to begin,
Yeah.
but I will
When,
press.
when you've worked that matter out, you know my address.
Of course. And you have our discretion, Mr. Pearsall.
Naturally. I can also be reached by post if there's something you want to contract.
I'm gonna take a guinea out of my pocket, and
Okay?
when I shake his hands, I'll press it into his hand and say,
Okay.
"Indeed, thank you for your help. If there's anything else you can think of that might help us," and then I'll hand him my card
Mm-hmm.
on that.
I
Although
do
we're
wish
at Cambridge at Trinity Hall, the Trinity Guest Houses currently.
Well, I do wish you luck in that matter, and if
Hmm.
this man Wibble has in fact taken himself to a glorious afterlife, I for one would leave him there.
I'd like to. Remember the 29th, sir.
Mm.
Perhaps a nice vacation from your shop might be safe.
Mm.
Pro-
Ah.
Protect yourself. And then I'll head out.
Mm. And there's the cat sitting on top of the
Mhm.
bookshelf, watching you guys leave.
I give a little. I don't touch it, but I do a little fingers near it in case it wants to play. How
Yeah,
badly does
she
it
seems a
scratch
little more
me?
friendly now. Oh, she seems a little more friendly now. I'm
Really?
guessing I think maybe people who are allowed in the office, the cat does not actually attempt to scratch.
I will give
It will
whatever she'll
accept,
take and
it
take
will
whatever.
accept a pet, one or two
Yeah,
pets
if
before it will
she.
withdraw.
Yeah, that's all I do.
You'll be able to make contact. for like a single stroke, and then the cow will be enough,
That's fine.
and we'll move away.
I will stop and I will say, watch out for Mr. Pearsall. Bathsheba. And before I leave,
It's cat.
I think I need to start adding superstitious to my character sheet. Anyway, and then we're back to studying, however long it takes to finish up all of our research stuff.
Well, by the time you've done all of that, it's going to be, like I said, several days. So where were we calendar-wise? We were on like the
Okay, the last place we were was Saturday. I'm assuming Sunday we were just doing research and going to church. Monday we went to Pearsall's.
that would be the 17th.
This is June, isn't it? Yes, Monday the 17th, and then however long beyond that to finish our research.
So let's say Tuesday is the 18th.
Yes.
Wednesday is the 19th. Thursday is the 20th. So you'll be finished by Friday, by about midday on Friday the 21st. So 8 days remain.
The other,
Also on Friday is you will get a response
that's what I
from
was
this
going to
planet.
ask. I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
I
That
opened it.
response will arrive Friday morning.
I'm sorry, who?
The response will arrive Friday morning.
Okay.
And the response is long. It's actually several pages worth.
I'm going to read it out loud to everybody, to our little group here.
And it begins with the standard formalities of I hope this letter finds you well, and all that. She then delves into I first began with a chuckle that you imagine that I take stock in the Christian faith.
Okay.
I was disabused of that notion many years previous. And now pleasantly leave such fables to those as would pursue them. So she says nothing about what she might believe now, but very much about what she does not believe anymore. As for my late husband, she says, I agree that his death makes no sense. As I was informed per letter from Cambridge on the 14th. I think it's the 14th. Don't quote me on the date. In other words, the day that she was informed.
Was it
I'd have to
before he
look that
died?
up.
Oh, it's after he died.
No,
She
after he
received a
died.
letter. We did find out his death date.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So it's 3 days after that.
Okay. I think June
Where
5th
she
is when he
apparently-
died, actually.
So it should be the 8th then, where she received a letter from Cambridge announcing that he was dead.
Okay.
As for his inheritance, I want nothing from him. And whatever he offers me, you may kindly inform his solicitor, is to be donated, given away, or if necessary, burned.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep. That was not a pleasant divorce. Or
I don't think they actually were divorced.
Separation.
They were never legally divorced.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
An unpleasant
Anything not
separation.
accounted for his will
She
is going to end up
still-
in her possession.
Yeah.
But she does not want. He's basically telling the lawyer, get rid of it. I don't care. I want nothing.
I don't think he's going to leave her
Nothing is
anything.
He
'Cause
probably hasn't.
she would have gotten a letter of some kind.
Yeah. No, he probably has left her literally nothing.
Mm-hmm.
As for his interest in the land of Egypt,
Oh, here we go.
and this being referred to as Nylar Hotep, he first mentioned that to me. And I have to do some math again, but basically about a year after their marriage. Where he spoke glowingly of this man who he sought to meet with. I pressed him on the matter, and his explanations made less and less sense. He spoke of a gate of death. He spoke of a means by which one might pass into some subaltern afterlife. The matter made less and less sense to me. I do recall he acquired a tool for this purpose, some large pane of glass.
When I read that, I look at Illingsworth,
To
who's been
say, and then
freaking out.
my face goes white at that thought.
Hmm.
and had the same set in a frame, crested with silver.
I give you the. Is that what we're talking about? As I read that to Illingsworth,
That certainly sounds like the mirror.
Yeah,
and
you
then I
saw
go on.
silver in the
Yep.
mirror. This tool he imagined like some, and here she seems to have paused a moment because you can see several drips of ink on the page,
Hmm.
as if she was thinking carefully about her next word. This tool, she says, like some latter day would be magus, would put him in contact with this man who I now suppose was dead.
Okay.
In truth, I knew little of it and cared less. What I do know is that his concern for this Nylar Hotep became consuming. What little I could discover suggested that this Nylar Hotep was also known by the name Thoth, or Thothmose, which I think is her misspelling of Tutmos.
Okay. Mose.
Yeah, that's probably her misspelling of Tutmos. These being magicians of some sort. So she seems unclear as to whether they are all the same person, or different people, or magicians, or something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In other words, what she's clear on is that her husband is obsessed with whoever the hell these people are, and she doesn't like it. And that his obsession was with meeting this person. She then concludes with a nod to the idea that he appeared to believe that at the moment of death, one could communicate across that boundary and thus gain instruction from this Nylar Hotep if he be dead. Thus, I heard, he acquired the corpses of the recently dead to seek this bridge. This was, I tell you in truth, the last straw. He brought a corpse into our apartment,
God.
Oh, God.
Okay. I'm still reading.
and there I was finished. I left for Baltusrol House that night. I have not set foot in Cambridge again, nor will I. And I promise you, Doctor, no force in heaven, if it be a thing, and yes, it's a parenthetical, or earth, would drive me to set foot in Cambridge again.
Oh boy.
And if there is a God, even he could not make me do such a thing.
I feel so
That's how she
unkind.
signs off.
Yeah, I feel so unkind having contacted her, but she did verify a few things.
Yeah.
I'm going to pen off a
She also,
letter.
you also apparently gave her a chance to really vent
Yeah, she
a lot
probably
of
never
things she
told
probably
anybody
hasn't said
this.
in years. Yeah.
I send her a
She put
simple.
a lot of anger into that letter.
I'm going to send her a simple letter back, just thanking her
Okay.
and telling her I will never bother her again, basically, and find her in nicer words than that, but that I
Yeah. Got the
will
idea.
leave her alone on this, and it will never be mentioned to you again, at least not from my hand. And then have that mailed with regular post. There's no rush anymore.
So
So,
you got, so
what?
one, she's alive.
Yeah,
Two, now you've got a better sense of what he thought he was doing with those corpses.
she left him. Good for her.
And three, it was his obsession with this that drove their marriage apart.
That's what she was trying to do with O'Brien's. He was trying to do with O'Brien's corpse. He was
Mhm.
probably trying to get him
Probably
to
too.
speak. That's why he heard the noise of like air leaving the
Yeah.
lungs.
Mhm.
And
Oh, wait,
my
with the
corpse
one,
only screamed. That was no good to him.
precisely. But in both cases, the corpse vocalized. Was he trying to get it to speak?
That's what I
To tell
think.
him something? Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes more
He was
sense then.
using something to get the corpses to speak, and it wasn't working. That's my thoughts, gentlemen. What do you think?
This is all very disturbing.
I'm not at Illingsworth. Yep, you got that right. Perhaps we could destroy the mirror.
I think that might be prudent, but I also, as I percolate on this, I do feel that this Dr. Wiggles'
Wibble.
Wibble.
machinations, Wibble, my bad, not Dr.
Wibble.
Wiggles. Dr. Wiggles' machinations extend past the grave. I think that if we are to believe, entertain the possibility that he has passed beyond the threshold to somewhere deeper in search of this Nyarlathotep, that he might intend to return.
Well, something has.
Yes.
Something was in the
And
office. Something was in his apartment. I gesture at Illingsworth. Something
yeah.
was in the bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
Where else was Wibble? Where else was he?
A
His
gate opened
classrooms.
Monmouth Hall.
Yeah. And what were intentions for us? I don't know
Gift?
about you gentlemen. I have no real interest in meeting this Mr. Nyarlathotep.
Despite the fact that he's got a gift for you.
Yes,
Apparently.
he seems like probably he's a very interesting fellow, but
Is the gift for you
all
or
6 of
for?
us.
Yeah.
Mm,
He's got a gift for all 6 of you.
According to Wibble's writings, according to your own translations, he has a gift for each of us.
Yep.
Is there anyone else we can consult? Anything else? Oh, in that time, those days that have passed, could I have gone and visited, what's his name, Thomas? Dr. Thomas, just to let him know
Oh, yeah.
what we
No
found? And I'm
problem.
assuming we also told Bartholomew the books that we removed from the apartment in that time. Does that sound
Yep.
logical? Okay. And we have
Yeah.
them, but we have them all documented and everything.
And O'Brien has been keeping an eye on Monmouth Hall since the encounter with the thing in the office to see if it's,
O'Brien wasn't there for that.
he was.
Should we tell O'Brien everything? He's been kind of closed mouthed with some of his dealings here.
Yeah, this is true.
But should we
I
bring
don't
him
think you
in?
need to tell him everything.
He is one of the so-called knowing ones.
Yes, he's one of the. I'd like
Yeah.
to. I would like to tell him, gentlemen. At least tell him my suspicions without potentially giving away Pearsall's name or noting that you entered Wibble's apartment or any of that.
Well,
He probably does have a right to know what may be in store for him.
Yep. Okay.
No
Well,
nod to frickin' Illingsworth.
Yep.
For nailing
Well,
it.
you can go find him.
Well, hold on.
This
I want
is-
to make sure that's okay with Edgeworth and Baker as well. Baker said don't tell him
Fair enough.
everything, which I'm not going to. But do you think that's all right, gentlemen?
You know me. Honesty is my best policy.
Well, I won't bring any of your names into it, and I won't mention where we got the information, but I would like to. You're welcome to come. He's been watching Monmouth Hall, you say?
Yeah, he's been
kinda-
apparently poking around Monmouth Hall,
Oh,
seeing if he can learn more about what's coming or why the will is to be read at Monmouth Hall of all places.
all right. I'll let him know that generally that something is amiss.
Okay.
And about the translations, about this
Well, he's not.
Nyarlathotep.
He hasn't come back to Trinity Hall tonight.
Oh, it's night? I guess I won't go
Yes.
looking for him.
This conversation on Friday, probably late Friday afternoon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'll go
So,
look for him.
as
Let's
far
go
as
look.
you know, he's at Monmouth Hall.
Come with. Let's go look. I feel safer
Okay.
in larger numbers now, gentlemen.
Okay, so you guys collectively take yourselves over to Monmouth Hall.
Yeah, we locked the books
a-
up. And
Yeah, just across the bridge, 5-minute walk. And when you get there, you'll notice that there is a distinct quiet. Like normally, there's people coming and going.
it's Friday.
But
It's
there's-
Friday.
It's Friday,
Mhm.
but there's several students standing outside in a quiet conversation. Something feels off. Something's definitely wrong here.
Did you gentlemen feel that?
And you'll notice the thing that maybe gets you is the students. There's three of them. Their conversation is in a little circle, and all of them are holding their hats.
Oh. Oh.
They've taken their hats off, and they're
Oh.
holding them in their hands.
I'm gonna approach them.
Okay?
I kind of gesture for the others to wait, and
Okay.
I'll walk over to them and I'll say,
They look distraught.
"What happened?
They have clearly, at least two of them have clearly been crying.
What is happening, gentlemen?"
You
I'll remove my
didn't
hat as
hear-
well. Not yet?
You didn't.
No?
One sort of composes himself.
They attack me.
It's Mr. Driscoll, sir.
Do I know Mr. Driscoll?
No, you don't.
What happened?
He's dead.
Oh, dear, who is Mr. Driscoll?
He was one of us, sir.
A student?
And a friend. And a brother, says another one, who's now fighting back tears again.
I'm terribly, terribly sorry.
Wait, would I recognize the name Driscoll? Was that one of the?
Yeah, actually, you met him briefly.
That was one of the students I met in the library.
You killed him!
Oh
It's your fault!
God!
Yeah, he was. You met him briefly in the library.
My jaw just drops.
I will try to get some information out of these fellows in a very gentle, caring, kind way.
All they know is that they apparently found Driscoll's body in Monmouth Hall. They don't know more. The faculty have basically closed the building and told told the students not to enter. They've summoned a coroner, and apparently there's going to be a coroner's inquest.
I'm going to put my hat back on.
Okay.
I'm going to say, gentlemen, I'm going to see what I can find out for you. Are you his brother? And I'm pointing to the one who broke down moments ago.
Not his brother by blood, sir, but we are a band of brothers, poets and scholars.
I'm so terribly sorry. And then I'm going to turn and head for Monmouth Hall. And I'm going to give a little subtle gesture to the others to come with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you guys attempt to enter Monmouth Hall,
Oh, no.
you'll notice there's a man standing in the doorway.
Is it a footman? Do I recognize him? Is he that guy that was protecting George on Duck Island?
No,
I know.
he's a royal yeoman. It's not can't be that guy.
It could be that guy. You never know. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Didn't that guy die?
No, I saved him.
Yeah, he was shot,
Oh,
but
okay.
not fatally. And Dr. Payne actually found him and then saved.
Yeah, we kind of retroed
probably
that
saved
in.
his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I got
Um,
you. All right.
He'd been shot by Reverend Brown
Mhm.
or one of his goods, but he did not die of the bullet
Yes.
wound.
And I do not hold a grudge, even though he was
Yep.
terribly rude and lied to my face. Okay. I'm sorry, he's a what? He's like a doorman?
No. You would expect it to be a doorkeeper or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Rather, you actually recognize the man standing in the door.
Constable.
That's Dr. Barclay.
Dr. Barclay. He's
He's a
new.
member of the faculty. Yeah. I mean, you know his face.
Yes.
He probably had shared no more than 10 words with him.
Okay. I know him from
Dr.
the
Barclay
staff.
he's also a member of the Barclay family, who are nobles,
Oh, damn.
and he's the dean.
Oh, no.
What the fuck is he doing acting as a doorman?
Yes. Dean Barclay. You probably don't remember me. Oh,
Dr. Payne,
I'm
I know. I
surprised.
make a point of remembering all that I've met.
Of course, sir. I will shake his hand if he'll take my hand.
He will. And I do not, however, know your compatriots.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm a bit distraught. This is Edgar Illingsworth, Connor Edgeworth, Thomas Baker.
Nice to meet you, gentlemen.
Gentlemen all.
He'll offer your hand.
Likewise.
If only it could be under more pleasant circumstances, Doctor.
So you've heard.
I kind of just look. I give a glance to those the three students who are probably a ways away, and watching the building. Yes, sir.
It seems we have murder on our hands.
Murder?
Dr. Barclay. I'm sorry, Dean Barclay. I am a physician. I know you've sent for a coroner, but time might be of the essence to determining many things about this.
You're perfectly welcome to have a look, sir.
Very good. Thank you. May these gentlemen escort me, Mr. They are researchers and...
Of course.
Thank you, sir.
It's the students I'm most concerned about at the moment.
Of course.
So you guys can get in.
Hell yeah.
Yes, sir.
And inside, one of the servants who's minding the lower floor will direct you to the south stairway.
Which one leads up to Wibble's office?
That will be the south stairway.
Yay! Okay.
Get there. Well, you can get there either way. Either the south or west stairs will get you there. The south stairs are probably quicker from this direction.
Let's go.
And those of you who have never encountered a dead body this way are going to need to make a sanity check.
Haha.
I mean, I killed a guy.
Illingsworth killed 2 guys in cold blood. Does that count?
So you don't have to worry about this one.
All right.
And I've seen a lot of dead bodies.
Yeah, it's the other 2 of you.
I'll make a sanity.
That might be wrong.
Question: Did a loud noise come through my mic a few minutes ago?
I don't know.
No, not really.
Okay, good. I was worried about that.
I don't recall.
I clicked the wrong button and my phone started shouting at me, but I'm glad it didn't pick up on the mic.
Alexa, buy sex lube.
No. No.
Anyway, so Payne and Illingsworth don't need to make this one. You guys have both encountered messy corpses, or in your case, created messy corpses.
Right.
Failure on my part.
Okay, those of you who fail are going to lose 1 point.
Baker did murder Mr. Muscle Man. Like, stabbed him in the throat. Would that be considered seeing a dead body?
Well,
no, you probably wouldn't make that one anyway, because that was in the dark.
Okay, that's fair enough. Sorry, Baker, tried to help.
Yep. So if you succeed, you'll still lose nothing, because you've all been through some shit. But if you fail, you'll lose 1. Because here is the body of Arthur Driscoll. He's laying on the stairs. He looks like he fell down the stairs and broke his neck.
Oh, God.
So the head sits at an impossible angle.
Yep.
Are you actually going to examine the body?
Yeah.
There's a servant standing nearby who's taken off his coat and placed his coat over the head and shoulders.
I want to see his face.
He will remove that if you ask him to.
Yeah, I do. Do I know if anybody carries paper and pencil of our little team?
Don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
Does Edgeworth usually? I will ask Edgeworth to take notes.
Absolutely. I will follow behind Dr. Payne.
Okay. So a medicine roll would help you here.
Okay. And I'll be like dictating what I'm finding with this examination.
Yeah. Now, of course, the reason you need a roll here at all, in part, is because you're doing this relatively quickly and without instruments.
52 out of 71 is a regular success.
Okay. So, first off, the angle of the neck suggests the impact was upward, not downward.
Okay.
That's going to call for a sanity roll on your part.
Okay.
He
His
was
head's
thrown
back.
up the stairs, not down them.
All right. I'm going to be noting this out loud. So I don't know if everybody else needs a sanity check as well. I failed 56 out of 36.
So you'll lose 1.
Okay.
The rest of you don't need to worry about that because it's just a speculation at this point. For you, it's science.
Right.
You can see the angle of impact. You can see the point of impact on the skull.
He was thrown. I make the note Or I have Edgeworth make the note that it appears that he was actually thrown up the stairs, which caused
Yeah.
that the impact of the initial blow caused the death.
It would also
Right?
require remarkable
Right.
amounts of strength to
Yep.
do that.
Yep. I'm looking up the stairs briefly. Are there
Yeah.
any markings on the stairs that show how far up he went?
Uh, well, part of that is the contusions found on the rest of the body.
Okay.
As you open the shirt and discover that it looks like he took 2 or 3 blows that were inflicted by something about the size of a bar stool.
Okay, I note that. Are his ribs broken?
Uh, most of them.
Oh God. So excessive force against, really a lot of force.
Yeah, the broken ribs might have finished him off on their own if it hadn't been for the impact on the neck and skull.
Any way
He
to
possibly would have died of the damage, of the internal damage and bleeding there.
any idea
Except the broken neck killed him faster.
any idea which blows came first, the neck or the chest?
It looks like the two blows to the chest came first, and then
Okay.
he was thrown up the stairs to smash his head. As for the launch point,
I'm not sure those types of forensics is like available in this point in time, though. In all honesty,
I figured it out. I'm smart. I know these things.
well, the damage to the ribs was done while he was alive, judging by the amount of splatter. That is to say, of blood it pooled in the torso. So, assumption, the fatal blow was the last one.
They knocked him up the stairs.
Yeah. One of his boots indicates the point of launch. Because he was launched so violently, one of his boots came off.
Okay.
And indicates that he was launched approximately 1/2 the length of the staircase.
Okay.
So he traveled probably, given that, remember, Monmouth Hall has those double-length staircases. Because the second floor is really the third floor because of the high ceilings. So he traveled essentially the equivalent of about 12 feet.
Okay.
Up. So something threw him 12 feet upward.
So is one boot still laying somewhere else, like down the
The other boot is still on his foot.
No, the one that.
Sorry.
Yeah,
the one that's lying on the stairs is probably the launch point.
Yeah,
in other words, he was probably he probably turned into the blow, caught the one heel, and it ripped off because of the impact.
So is he halfway up the stairs? Is the corpse halfway up the stairs?
He's halfway up the stairs. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was a little confused. I thought he was at the he
you
fell back down.
You have to climb. No, you have to climb. He's fallen down several steps, but you still have to climb almost halfway up the staircase to reach the body. So he impacted and then rolled probably 2-3 steps down before settling.
No idea what could have caused this.
And
you said something like a bar stool, so it's like
it was large.
Something like a big impact point.
Yeah.
There's a huge bruises on his chest.
Yeah, if that was a fist, it was the largest man you've ever met.
And we've met a pretty large man already.
Yes, you have. Even Mr. Graves' fist wasn't that large.
Right, that's what I'm referring to.
He probably wasn't that. The kind of strength it would take to launch a man like this may have been beyond even him.
Did you get all that, Graves? I'm sorry. Did you get all that, Ed Graves? Did you get all that, Edgeworth?
Ankle neck contusions to the rest of the body landed about 12 feet / 4 meters up the staircase.
Also, worth pointing out, his watch is still on his body.
Is it ticking? Or is it broken?
Which gives you time of death.
Yeah, what time does it say? What time is it now? It's what time of day was this? Afternoon? Evening?
It's in the late afternoon.
Okay.
According to your watch, it's 4:47 p.m.
Yeah, I know the time of
his
death.
broken watch shows 3:18. So this happened a little over an hour ago.
Oh.
Because the first impact got him in the gut and smashed his watch, which was in his waistcoat pocket.
I'm going to look at the servant. Who found this body?
I did, sir.
When did you find it?
Just after 4th bell, I think.
Which is what time?
4 o'clock.
4.
Most people here, you don't really need a watch here because the bells keep time. So the servant doesn't own a watch, 1, because he can't afford one, and 2, because he doesn't need one because the bells chime the half, the quarter, and the hour. So you always know within 15 minutes what time it is if you hear the bells.
When was the last time you walked down these stairs? Before that?
Probably not since 2, sir.
I'm kind of looking around. There's nobody else around in the building that I can see.
On a Friday afternoon, Monmouth Hall was in summer. Monmouth Hall was pretty quiet.
Okay.
So the body apparently went undetected for about an hour.
Mhm.
That's in this.
Well, a little less.
It was
318 is the murder took place at 318.
318. The body was found at 447.
No,
It's
he's
no, it's
currently
447 now.
The
It was found at
the
4,
servant found the body. He remembers the 4 o'clock bell,
and then he
so
found
he found it either before or right after 4 o'clock. He's not certain as to. He remembers hearing the 4 o'clock bell, but he cannot remember whether it was before or after he found the body.
but it was
So he
close
found it
to it.
around 4 o'clock.
Right. Anyone else in the building at all? Any
So there were
staff?
probably 2 or 3 dozen people in the building, but we're talking about a large building. It's a
Right.
campus building. So the fact that no one was using the back stairs for a while on a Friday afternoon,
It's not
honestly, not
surprising.
that
Yeah.
suspicious. Oh,
Well, and
also,
the servant.
not just the watch, by the way. His wallet and his commonplace book are both still here too, which means robbery was not a motive.
I want to check the. I want to check each. Yeah, there's money in the wallet. Put that back.
Yeah.
The commonplace book. Any notes towards the end of that?
It's medical. It's the notes of a medical student.
Okay. Nothing unusual that I can see with a
You'll recognize
glance.
them as such. Yeah, no.
Okay.
The point is that the fact that his possessions are still here suggests that robbery was not the motive for this murder.
For the stool-fisted murderer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
dear.
he has a money purse with 6 shillings, 9 pence. That's
Yeah.
a sizable amount of money. You can buy things with that.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. I do an
If
examination of his
someone
pockets.
murdered him for his money,
Do you have
then why would they leave it?
anything unusual on his person?
No.
A piece of paper with some hieroglyphics? Nothing.
No.
Do you know this student? Do you know what he was doing here?
I no, I don't. I recognize this man. I mean, this is Arthur Driscoll. That
Yes,
much
of
I know.
course. Good man, good
I
man. I'm gonna pat him on his
don't know
shoulder,
much. I don't know much about him.
and then I'm gonna
I
cover
know
him
he
up again. By the way.
came last year. I think. Actually, no, I don't even know where he currently resides. I know he's a medical student.
Do you know if he worked with Dr. Wibble?
I don't think so.
Very good, very good.
Maybe. I mean, I couldn't rule it out.
You'll need to talk.
Honestly,
I'm sure you'll need to talk to the constable about everything that you've told me.
of course.
I'm gonna pat him on the shoulder, try to calm him, and shake his hand and slip him a shilling.
Okay.
Buy yourself a drink as soon as that's over. A good stiff drink. You're
Yes, I
going
think I shall.
you're going to feel some shock from this entire experience. It's normal. It's very normal.
Of course.
What is that noise? You guys hear? It's coming from Baker.
Yeah.
Are you still awake,
Josh?
Baker?
Josh, you're doing something weird.
Josh is sleeping again, I think.
Oh, jeez, is he?
Oh, maybe. Is he talking to sleep, Graham? You know him better than us.
I have no idea.
It's like,
Got me there. Well,
he's having
we
night
only got about
terrors.
20 minutes left. Anyway,
Yeah.
So.
Perhaps now let the devil speak to you.
I'm gonna take Edgeworth aside. Well, at least aside from this servant, who I tell him just to wait here until a constable arrives.
That's what he's doing.
And I'm going
He's waiting for the coroner's men to come take the
Edgeworth,
body.
what do you make of this? Oh my god, that's terrifying. Can you guys hear that?
Yes,
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, actually.
I'm gonna mute him for myself or turn him down.
Yeah.
I'm muting him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on Twitch, and that's when if somebody doesn't mute him, let me know when he comes back on.
I just did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think he fell asleep.
I think so. Yeah.
Edgeworth, what do you make of this?
I think that there's something in the building with us.
Yes.
I think we might want to examine Whipple's office again.
We don't have a key. You, sir. I'm going to go to the servant. Do you have keys to the building?
Make a luck roll.
damn
This
it.
man
Yeah.
is one of the custodians.
My luck's actually pretty good. Damn it! Not with a 90.
No, sir. You'd have to ask the custodian.
Where's he?
Burn some luck to get luck, right?
No,
That
I'm not
works,
going to
doesn't
fucking
it?
burn 20 points of luck when I can go talk to the custodian and get the key from him.
That would be Mr. Findlay, sir.
Mr. Finley, where's he?
I don't know at the moment. His office is on the first floor on the north side.
Oh, very well. What does he look like? I want to get a quick description in case I spot somebody of that looks like him.
He's a taller gent
Okay.
with darker hair. He has spectacles he's fond of.
Good enough. Thank you, sir. We're going to go find Mr. Finley and see if we
Okay,
can...
that'll give you another luck roll to see if you can find him.
Oh, yeah. And then
Is he in his office at the moment
That's where we're
on
going.
Friday afternoon?
A 62 out of 71 is a regular success.
So yes, you will find him in his office, where he will let you into the office. He is currently engaged in what is essentially damage control. In other words, Dean Barkley has already visited his office and told him, we're getting the corridors in here. We're going to keep everybody else quiet. We're going to control, basically, until we find out what happened.
Okay.
We're not talking about this.
I'm going to ask
In
Edgeworth.
particular, is there a murderer loose on campus?
Yes,
If so, let's lock everything down until the murderer is caught.
I don't see how any man could have done the injury that I diagnosed. Edgeworth, can you give him the notes that you took?
Yes.
He's sitting at his desk when you come in. He's reading a newspaper.
That's fine.
I explained the angle of neck, the impact, the ridiculous strength it would take to send the student flying, and that this clearly goes beyond the capability of a normal human body.
Well, that, he says, I have nothing to offer. I have no idea how such a thing, nor if even such things were possible or true, or any. It's clear Finley is not in great shape right now. He's taking this personally.
Does he have liquor around here anywhere?
Not that's
He's
visible.
not drinking? Okay. Miss
No,
Finley,
if he has any liquor in his office, he keeps it where prying eyes do not see it.
Miss Finley, do you have a key to Dr. Wibble's old office?
And he stops like, what does that have to do with anything?
He says that?
Yeah.
I'd like to find out.
Why would you suspect that it had anything to do with Wibble?
Well, it's a good place for someone to hide if they just killed someone, isn't it? Particularly someone who could pick a lock, perhaps.
That makes a point, and come to think of it, Driscoll was in at least one of Wibble's lectures. So the two of them had at least a bit of a connection.
Well, it
try
can't
and
be to
find
look.
out. Right. You know what? You're quite right. I agree. Hold a moment, if you would.
Of course.
He takes a key ring and sorts through it, looking for the one he wants. He then sorts through some other stuff until he finds a club.
Ah, excellent. Okay, yeah, he's coming. I figured he's coming with us. Come on.
If you think the murderer might be hiding in there,
could be.
He's getting his club and coming.
Let's go.
If there's a murderer, he's not going to allow this to stand. This building is his responsibility, and if someone's murdering people in it, he's on the job.
I'm going to remind you, Kevin, my character is armed with one of those folding pistols because I do not go anywhere without one anymore. But that's it. That's all I got on me.
You don't find many firearms on campus. But the life preserver style club, the constable's got them.
That works for me.
Mr. Finley, it turns out, has one.
Let's go see what's going on in Wibble's office, just in case.
All right. So with a lot of you, you'll march up. You'll take the west stairs, so as to avoid the south stairs, and take the roundabout route to Dr. Wibble's office. And he opens the door, and the office, as soon as you get a look inside, the whole place is a mess.
Hold on, the office or the museum? Wibble's got 2 rooms, right?
Both. It looks like a tornado went through this place.
Someone was here, and I explained quickly to Finley that I was here just a few days ago, and this was not
a lot of you should make a sanity roll.
Oh shit!
That's everyone who can.
Sorry, gentlemen.
That includes Mr. Finley.
Oh, fail 80.
Oh, I failed.
80 out of 35. Oh no.
I failed now.
If I go crazy, I
Oh,
definitely
and
want to make a
Finley fails
deal.
as well.
Oh no. I want to make a deal with Nyarlathotep Hotep if I go completely mad, by the way. I've already decided on that.
Wow! Everyone who fails is going to lose 6
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
shit.
So,
because, as it turns out, but before you go any further, as it turns out, why the mess? The thing responsible is still here,
oh no, what does it look like?
and now you can't see it directly. To each of you, it appears as if it's behind another one of you. In other words, it always moves as if it's outside the corner of your vision. Always moves as a shadow, as an echo. But it moves things. It physically moves things.
Finley,
Even though you
close the
can't
door!
not eyes on it. And then he will, in fact, slam the door closed. Then there's a moment of quiet. And did anyone lose 20%?
I was down to, let's see, 36 when we started tonight, minus 6, divided by 6 is 1/6. So not quite
So
20%.
Yep. So
What is 20%
Hold on.
from 6?
I was at 30. I'm down 7.
10% is 3, half is 6. So 7 is over the threshold. Yes. You should
Yep.
make yourself.
I was at 42 and I'm at
56.
34 now.
We need an intelligence check.
Oh.
I failed it!
That's
Holy
8.
crap! I rolled a 56
Yeah.
out of 55. I don't go temporarily insane.
So 40. So
Yay.
you were 42. So it is 4 plus 4 is 8.5, and you lost 7.
8. I lost
You
8.
lost 8. 8.5 is the threshold. So
Okay,
you're
so
actually under.
I'm just.
However,
I know this.
Mr. Edgeworth, I believe, is over the threshold.
Mm-hmm.
You also need to make an
I'm definitely
intelligence roll.
insane.
You get
What'd you get?
another phobia. Good job.
Well, maybe a phobia, maybe not.
Night terrors.
What you get is a moment of clarity, though. Realize that what you just saw was not Dr. Wibble, nor the Black Pharaoh, nor any such. What you just saw was something in between. In other words, if Dr. Wibble opened the gate
He let
to
something
another
through.
afterlife,
Dumbass.
This came
he
through.
sent himself through, this thing came back.
Something came back.
Yeah. That's not Wibble. That's not Nyarlathotep. That's something that came back when Dr. Wibble went to the Field of Reeds.
And Edgeworth's the only one that realizes that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in that moment of madness and clarity, you realize that I don't think Wibble meant to do that.
Nope.
But
This
he was
is
dead. So how the fuck would he notice?
Okay. Is Finley locking the door?
Finley is he also failed the sanity roll.
Yeah, desperately
He's very
locking
much
the door.
locking the door.
Okay.
He doesn't just lock the door, he then presses his back to it as if to hold it with his main strength.
And then a fist comes out his chest. No.
No, there's a moment more of chaos and then quiet, as if the thing is gone again. But then again, it's not really here, is it?
Yeah, it seems to be.
Well, in your imagination,
I'm gonna
in the books,
push a
in the
button.
corner of your eye.
I'm gonna press a finger into Finley and I'm going to say, you should get everyone out of Monmouth Hall, I think so.
I believe so, yes.
Yes. I think we should go
And
as well.
he then begins moving down the stairs, shouting, "Everyone out!" in a loud voice. Yeah,
How subtle. Good job.
yeah, no,
Let's
not
get out of
subtle
here.
at all. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Finley has also suffered from 6 points of sanity loss and is not doing well either. So now
Yeah,
he's marching through the halls,
Now-
screaming, "Everybody out!"
Do you want them to check? Do you want everybody to check to see if they have a bout of madness?
Yeah, I lost more than 5 points. So
And we all did. I checked.
Yeah.
I failed my intelligence check.
Yeah, so now everybody should make an intelligence check and
By a
see.
point.
One of you
Oh
at
my
least
God.
got the moment of insight.
97 is definitely a fail.
You're okay
Jeez.
for the moment.
How'd
Yay!
Connor didn't. You succeeded.
I'm
Yep.
about a madness.
Oh
Well,
boy.
you understood what the thing is.
Yeah.
And Mr. Edgeworth comes away from it And there's this moment where you realize he's not speaking English.
Gosh,
Egyptian, or is he speaking Enochian?
I suspect that's actually Egyptian.
How about Baker? Does he faint? That's an easy way to deal with him right now.
Yeah, we'll do that. I like that a lot, actually. Let's roll with that.
Okay.
No, you're for a moment you're speaking in Egyptian, and the thing is, you can almost see it. To you, if anything, its outline is suggestive of pseudopods, teeth,
Yay.
and if you gave it a form at all, imagine it, if you will. You could imagine it as some kind of monstrous serpent or alligator or something. In other words, could some ancient Egyptian have imagined that as Apep?
Illingsworth, help me with him. I'm trying to grab
And
Baker
then
off
the
the
moment,
floor.
and then the moment breaks.
Yeah. All right.
And the downside of this, for the moment, is while you're yelling at Edgeworth to help you, he's
Illingsworth.
responding. Mr. Edgeworth is responding only in Egyptian. He appears to have lost English for the moment.
That's fine. He's not like. He's fine. We're gonna grab Baker, the two of us.
Sure, he's fine. He's fine. Everything's fine.
Edgeworth, can you understand me? And he just babbles at me in Egyptian. Then
You start
yeah.
babbling about the field of reeds in Egyptian.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna gesture him as we're trying to get the hell out of this building. How about?
Yeah. So here's weird people yelling at you in some foreign language.
Ah!
Oh, he doesn't even recognize us. Come on. And then we're going. Illingsworth and I are going with Baker to get out of this building.
My brain is in Cairo. I'm out.
Do we notice Edgeworth's not following? Is Edgeworth following? What's happening? I'm scared.
So, Mr. Edgeworth, how do you deal with the fact that weird people in odd clothing are shouting at you?
I just like immediately fall to the ground. I can still perceive this thing, yes?
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I fall to the ground and start begging for forgiveness.
Is he begging? Is he looking at the door of the
He's
office?
he's looking at the office door. He's
like
on his
this?
knees. He falls to his knees, puts both hands on the office door, and begins shouting at the office.
Illingsworth, take Baker.
Yeah, like he's shouting at the office door, like he wants to say something to whatever's inside, hoping that whatever's inside is hearing what he's saying.
Also, I'm guessing my Cthulhu Mythos score is going to go up by 1.
Oh yeah, you went
At
temporarily
least.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least.
Good job.
Yep.
I am going to try. I'm going to. I told Illingsworth to take Baker when I'm tapping on Edgeworth's shoulder, trying to be gentle
Okay.
and seeing if he looks.
Are you willing to go with the strange people? They seem to want you to come with them, and for some reason you recognize them, like you've known them in another life.
I look to them. I look to the thing through the door.
I'm not looking at the door.
And it's gone. It's gone now.
Okay, then I let myself be guided.
Oh great! I'm gonna grab. If he stands up and like angles towards me, I'm gonna grab him under the arm, and I'm gonna hurry him out of this building.
Yeah. So you guys will hurry your way out of the building as Mr. Finley continues the chaos of yelling at people.
Oh God, he's not helping.
He is not helping.
No,
he is the opposite of helping.
Inciting panic.
Yeah, and as you guys exit, you will notice him screaming at the coroner's men and waving his club around, telling them to get out. So here's two guys with a stretcher who are trying to collect the body, and he's telling them to get out, threatening them with a club. Nothing you can do about that.
Can you understand me, Edgeworth? Yet? Can you understand me? Are you still? No? All right. I'm going to gesture towards Illingsworth, towards him, and see if he'll head over to Illingsworth.
Child of Sobek is displeased with me.
No comprehend.
It's not that any of that's making any sense.
No, I don't understand any of what he's saying. Like, the words are wrong.
So you usher yourselves out of the building.
I want to go try to help the guys get the body. If I can get Edgeworth to go towards Illingsworth.
Probably better to leave this to the rest of them, because this is just going to be a mess for a while until Mr. Finley decides to go hide in his office.
No, I don't want him
which
to.
eventually he's going to do. Well, if you don't want him to, you're going to get hit with
Yeah.
a club
Wait, Mr. Finley, you must leave as
because
well. I'm not getting
he's going to
close
go.
to him if he's swinging a club around.
Oh, he is. Yeah. In other words, if you attempt to move him, you're going to get hit
No,
with
no,
a
no,
club.
no, no. I'm just trying to talk him down.
He's not. He has decided to clear everyone out of the building and then go fortify himself in his office,
Oh God,
and
he's
that is what
dead.
he is going to do.
He's gonna fucking die. Just wait,
And
gentlemen.
anyone who doesn't like it, he's going to hit with a stick.
Is he locking the doors behind him?
Yep.
No.
Nope.
Once he leaves, can
Although
I
he
escort
will, he will,
the stretcher
he
men
will
in?
lock. Well, they'll be gone by then anyway. The point of the matter is, there's really nothing you need to do about
Damn
this.
it.
Eventually, they will get
All
the
right.
body.
Okay.
Finley
Okay.
will lock himself in his own office.
That body's gonna be. He's gonna be a monster person soon. Uh.
Well, he got the full brunt of it, same as you guys did.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, as it's near on 11, that seems like a nice place to wrap up. Now that we know that something that might once have been APEP is now loose in Cambridge,
So early
and
afternoon.
you've got 6 days before the reading of the will, I believe.
And we have to stop this. We're the only ones who can stop this.
I'm aware of that.
That
Yeah.
sucks for us.
I'm aware of that too.
Typical
Yes.
Call of Cthulhu.
Nobody said it was good. Nobody said horror was fair.
No, no, no. I don't have a
But,
problem with that. Unless we have a
yeah,
goal now. We have a real super,
yeah,
like, we have to deal with this. Maybe dealing with Nyarlathotep won't be as bad as
yeah. Well,
dealing with this
now
thing.
now you know what's
I'm
you've
right.
been seeing. Something that's halfway between APEP and the Hounds of Tyndalus.
Well, we're going to have to tell Bartholomew we can't do the reading of the will in that building.
Except that that's where it's supposed to take place.
It's locked down. The college won't let us use it.
Oh, by the next day they'll have opened it again.
Okay.
I mean, they're not gonna end life as we know it over a murder. Once they're convinced that the murderer is not hiding in the building, that's going to be that. So they're going to lock it down. They're going to summon some constables. They're going to search it, and if they don't find a murderer hiding anywhere,
Or no one else gets murdered.
and no one else gets
It
murdered,
wasn't a murder. Well, I mean, it was,
well,
but it's not a
it
murder
was.
that
It's
any
just that,
person could do.
yeah, it's just that you know what did it, and the answer is something that's not really in our dimension. Which the cops really, what are they going to do? Arrest it?
No. The cops are with
Hit it
us.
with a stick and arrest it? Because let's face it, the cops are basically a one-trick pony at this point. What they do is hit things with sticks and arrest them. If that doesn't work, they're out of options.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nobody's fault. Oh wait, it's Will's fault.
Oh, it's totally Wiggle's fault.
He didn't do it on
The
purpose, though. Maybe he
good
actually
news,
does want Nyarlathotep to give us something nice or some bullshit.
well, listen,
That's
the good
definitely
news,
what he thinks.
it appears that Wibble is not back from the dead, so there's that.
Yeah, we got
So yay.
something from ancient Egyptian mythology
Well,
that slipped
Say,
through.
I'm not sure that's a good thing in all
This
honesty.
feels like something. This feels like a movie
Yeah.
or something I've seen.
Oh.
Where something comes through that wasn't supposed to come through, and
It's
now
been
you have
done.
to deal with it. But I can't think of what that would be even.
Except, the guy responsible kind of died in the process, apparently.
Yeah, but he wanted to die in the process. It's the only way
Yeah,
the process
well,
would work.
There's that little issue.
You gotta die in the process. That's how the process is a process.
That's part of the process.
25th? Are we playing the 25th then?
That's what I was pulling up the calendar.
Yeah, that's fine.
25 works for me.
How long is Graham gonna be talking Egyptian?
We'll find out next time.
Oh, god damn it, Kevin. I'm down to 29 sanity. You're killing
I'm
me.
down.
You're killing me. You're down to what?
Down to 24.
You're killing me. All right, so I guess we're done.
I'm the best out of all of us right now.
Yeah, you are. You're the guy that doesn't notice things. You're like,
That's
what?
true.
What?
That's kind of
That's
crazy. Isn't
That's
it?
my next character I want to do. I'm gonna start letting people make
The
characters.
guy who doesn't know. The
He's-
guy who doesn't notice things.
I want to lower my spot hidden to 5. So
So you don't
he
notice
never notices
anything.
anything. He's like, what? And I want to let
My-
players do that. Lower scores if they will play up. They're really bad at it.
My character is going to have a great swim score. I'm telling you.
He's gonna have a what?
The next character I play in this campaign, when Connor eventually goes insane, is going to have a great swim score.
Swim.
All
Okay.
right then.
It's already come up
Okay.
once before.
It's gone quiet on Baker's end.
Mhm.
All right, so we're gonna end the stream. I think. Everybody,
All
we're
right.
done. Are
Yes.
we done, everybody?
Yes, I think
Thanks for
so.
watching, everybody. Appreciate anybody who's here, who was here, and we will talk to y'all next time.
Alrighty.
Bye.